Well, it finally happened. We are officially men of culture.
Oh.
We are men of taste.
Mm-hmm.
No longer are we the underdressed, near illiterate, walking, talking scum that we used to be.
Mm-hmm.
And we have been.
Our whole lives.
Fans of this show will know that we have been for at least a year and a little bit over a half. But now we are cultured. You know, it's
Right.
incredible what'll happen when you go to one art show.
Uh-huh.
And the only reason we were able to be there, like, you know, that we dragged ourselves out of our you know, Oscar the Grouch trash cans is because we were there to support a good friend.
Yes,
Yeah.
we were. So a couple weeks ago, while you're listening to this,
Yes.
it happened for us very recent. But we were invited by a listener, a fan, and a new friend of ours.
Yes.
Tim Von Clote, who we've talked about before because he comments on a lot of our stuff, and he is a patron of ours.
Yes, he is.
And he goes by, he's an artist, and so you can find him on Instagram with TV artworks. His wife Gretchen is also an artist. We're going to link their stuff in the description below. I believe they also do some YouTube stuff, so we'll probably
Yes.
link to that because it's, you know, it's cool to see what they've got going on. They hit a lot of different like cons and stuff.
Importantly, they also do theme park stuff, but
Yes.
they are not Tim Tracker.
Right.
That's a different mustachioed
Glasses.
theme park YouTube person.
Yeah.
As
That's
crazy
a
as that sounds.
very important distinction
we
to
had
make.
we had a whole conversation about that. It is our duty as Tim's friends to let everyone know he is not Tim Tracker.
Right.
It's a different Tim who looks very similar.
I have met them both.
Great.
They are separate people.
Who wins in a fight?
Ooh.
It's a trick question. It's Tim Von Clote because he just erases them from the canvas.
Oh shit.
For fans of Expedition 33, the video game, he gommages them.
Oh.
And for not fans
Is
of
that
that game,
topical?
it's a newer game. One game of the year.
Oh.
We're not talking about video games.
anyway.
We're talking about real art.
Right, because Tim was nice enough to invite us out to a art show.
Yes.
It was a Andy Warhol's birthday and pop art party.
Yeah.
That was being thrown in St. Pete at an interactive art museum called Floridorama. For anyone who isn't in the know but is kind of in the know, it is like the closest thing that the Tampa Bay area has to a meow wolf.
You've lost me. I don't know.
all over the country. There are different meow wolves out there. There's ones in Vegas and there's ones in like Denver and things like that. They are these huge installation art exhibit museum interactive things.
Okay.
And like you'll go and they're all themed to different things. Like you'll go into the front and it'll be like it looks like a laundromat. And then you open up one of the, you know, washers and you take a slide down into the actual caverns of this thing. And it's all these, you know, different art pieces. But in the lobby of that, of Floridorama, they typically do different art exhibits and things like that. So they were doing a pop art exhibit. And we were invited. They were throwing a big party.
Yeah.
All of the artists were there. There was, like performers. There was a Lou Reed performer.
Who's weirdly, his legal name was Elvis Presley.
That's what he said.
And then he left the stage to be replaced by an Elvis Presley impersonator.
Who was very good.
Yeah, he was incredible. Interesting fact about that guy's legal name, Willie Nelson.
Yeah.
At which point the Willie Nelson impersonator got on. And so it continued for about 7.5 hours.
It was a long night.
Yeah.
It was confusing.
Mick Jagger was the best Paul McCartney I've ever seen.
But it was awesome.
Yeah, his art, his piece there was this really incredible, like super high color, almost neon, full canvas painting of Medusa that was UV reactive. Yeah. He's so funny. He goes, "Man, what sucks is that I didn't realize they were going to place it right here under all of these lights. I brought a UV flashlight, so
I was going to say, did he show you?
Yeah,
yeah.
Instead, he just flashed it at all the people's shirts, and they were like, "Oh God, no!"
No, but it was very cool. He said that that's the largest canvas he's ever painted on.
Wow, great.
And it was funny. I was trying to, I talked to him a little bit beforehand because I'm just like, dude, I've been following you on Instagram for a long time. and like well before this show existed. And so it's that thing of like, where would we have bumped into each other? Because I first reached back to years ago. What was it? 2016. We went to MegaCon in Orlando, and I love art. And so I spent a lot of time in art, like the Artist Alley. And I was like, it had to be that. Like I had to have bumped in, but I don't think they lived in the area. And they definitely, he was like, I wouldn't have gone to that con at that time. I go now.
Interesting. Okay.
And so maybe Tampa Bay Comic-Con is where we finally landed on.
Okay. Yeah.
Because we've done Rocky at Tampa Bay Comic-Con for a couple years, and we did walk the floor. So maybe.
Yeah. It was wonderful to meet him. He was so cool. Hopefully we'll have him on at some point. Just a really, down to earth and interesting guy. We had a great talk for a while. But the thing that struck me as the most interesting part of meeting him is that obviously he's a fan of ours and we are such big fans of his. So it was just, it kind of lends to that support local art thing of like, he's a supporter of ours. We went and supported him. And it's just like, I think, not to sound too, Rainbow Bridge, but if everybody were like that, if everybody really just kind of gave their all to support the people in this artistic world, even if it's people who like us are parasites on the back of art and artists, we're critics, Yeah. But no, it was incredible. It was an incredible experience. I had a great night.
Yeah. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah. I think the worst part about the experience to me was that the Elvis Costello impersonator smoked a cigarette with us outside, and then he put that cigarette out on me. Welcome to the frequently purchased and almost gentrified Third Channel Podcast,
where we delve into the horror franchises you love from the perspectives of a lifelong horror fan
and a newbie to the genre. I'm PJ.
And I'm Derek.
And today, the only thing we're here to talk about, I'm going to just do my regular voice, is horror. Today's horror comes in the form of an episode of Netflix's Black Mirror. One that focuses on a dystopian alternate reality where the only way we get to see some of our favorite horror characters are in tired, played out, cliche trope fests that make the pill of Hollywood's idea of franchise-forward movie making all the more bitter. An hour-long film that proves that you can't teach an old dog new tricks, even if that dog is a developmentally disabled 380-pound 70-year-old slasher staple. But this old dog will bite the hand that feeds, or at the very least, cut it off with a 50-year-old chainsaw. Did you like Halloween Kills? Did you like The Exorcist Believer? Did you like The Rise of Skywalker? Well, somehow, Leatherface returned. And he's here to drag the bloated carcass of one of the most important horror movies of all time down the overproduced and underwritten toilet of the modern age. Here's Bubba headlining in the longest 50 minutes of your fucking life. Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2022.
And I'm Derek.
Man, a peek behind the curtain here. I've never done that. I've tossed around the idea of like writing intros about. I've never done it. I rewatched this movie today, and it filled me with such a white hot rage that I was like, I have things I want to say about what I think about the movie right from the jump, but I don't want to get them jumbled up. So I was like, what if I write like a little thing? Yeah. So I don't know. I mean all of that.
Wow. You did tell me the other day that you had a lot of feelings.
I do.
About this movie. But I didn't know which way it went.
It's funny because when we first watched this movie, I was quite a big fan of it.
Yes, you were.
But
I was a little more reserved.
Then.
But I had also watched it like twice at that point.
Right. And I would then go on to watch a million other things and realize that I was falling in I was falling down the stairs of the target audience for this movie, which is Do you like popcorn? Do you want to sit and watch something without any form of brain? Do you want to sit and scroll on your phone while you watch a thing? Then buckle up. Oh man, it has disappointed me in a way that I feel like I will only ever be disappointed again by my children.
Wow.
When they spawn into the world.
As they do.
And I'm going to name those children Bubba, Sawyer, and Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Wow.
And 2022 if I have a fourth.
Okay. That's good. That's a lot of feeling. That's a lot. This is an interesting one because that means you've watched it twice this week. This is a first for this show where you have done more rewatches this week than I have.
The reason for it is, and it was an exercise in futility, but the first time I saw it, I had some stuff that had gone on that day that had kind of bummed me out. And I was like, maybe I'm taking my day and filtering this movie and I remember liking this. Maybe I need to watch it again. So I took the time. It's only 50 minutes. So I took the time on my lunch break and I watched it again. And it was like the whole time I'm like, no, you were right. You should listen to yourself, PJ. And that's my new self-affirmation.
Oh, that's good.
Is PJ, you were right about Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2022.
I also will say maybe the first time you watched it, it was like, we were coming off the backs of you hated 2.
Yes.
We have 3 Next Generation.
Both terrible.
We then watched the remake and the prequel to the remake.
Very good, and I kind of liked it.
And then we have Texas Chainsaw 3D and its prequel Leatherface.
All the worst in the franchise. So it was like, oh, thank God. You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of the Hulu Hellraiser movie where it's like, it is much more a requel than these weird sort of low budget. But the thing about Hellraiser is the 2020 or whatever that year is that the new one came out.
2021.
Okay. It was very good.
Yeah.
Fundamentally, it's a really good movie. So it did benefit from the fact that the last few that we watched that we didn't even cover on this show are really terrible, straight to cable. Even they're like the Hallmark movies of horror movies.
Yeah.
But this is even though the ones before it are bad, there's no saving this one.
Yeah. And before anybody corrects me, Hellraiser also came out in 2022, just like Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Well, if you put the two of these together, I mean, it is shocking how different they are. One of them is a new direction and some interesting stuff to play around with a series favorite. And this one is just, it's what I said. Do you like any of these movies that have tried to revamp but did all the same things? There's nothing new about it at all. But you know what is new? Relatively. Our Patreon.
Yeah.
It's ad time. Da, 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 da. We have a Patreon. We talk about it all the time.
All the time.
The only episodes where we don't talk about Patreon are our Patreon episodes.
So,
if you want to listen to an episode of our show devoid of a Patreon ad, check out our Patreon.
Yeah. Third channel Patreon, guys.
Yeah, third channel Patreon, where we have discussions up for our free tier. We have a discussion that you and Ty had for Jordan Peele's Nope. And then we have now covered 3 movies.
Right.
16-time Oscar-nominated film Sinners. We also discussed with my brother, Alistair Graves, the film Beetlejuice. And then most recently for Spider-Man Brand New Day and the Sam Raimi of it all, we had Dylan on and we discussed Sam Raimi's Spider-Man.
Yeah. And depending on how things shake out, when this episode is dropping, there should also be another Patreon exclusive episode.
Oh my God.
More than likely.
It's going to be Ernest Goes to Jail.
It could be Ernest Goes to Jail.
More than likely.
The Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2003.
Which is good.
Yeah.
Not at all like this.
Right.
It's specifically a retelling. That's what it's supposed to do. That's what it's advertised for. So,
but yeah, go over there and support us if you can.
Yes.
We appreciate you listening. And we would appreciate if you wanted to go over there because you can listen to all these episodes right over there. You can also, if you have signed up for Patreon, if you are a paid member, I believe you can actually get those episodes to play in whatever app that you are you normally listen to podcasts in.
Yeah,
so
great.
It works both ways. on to at least till the end of this month.
Yes.
If you were listening to this in August of 2026, we've still up for Best of the Bay 2026 from Creative Loafing. Third Channel Podcast is up for Best Podcast. Producer Fly Guy Ty is up for Best Hip Hop Act. Your brother, Alistair Graves, is up for a couple things, but he's up for Best Burlesque Act. And if you could vote for those every day until August 30th, honestly, if they do what they did the last couple times that they had voting, they're probably going to add another day at the end, so keep an eye out for that. But we've been posting pretty much every day on our socials, so if you follow us there, and you can get to all those links in the description below. Try to make this as easy as possible.
Tell you what, Best of the Bay misses out every year because they don't have a category for Best Fact Checker. Because if they did, it would be Caroline.
Yeah.
There's no doubt in my mind that my sister is capable of a great many things, including winning Best of the Bay for Best Fact Checker. Now, what she would say is actually no, or something cynical.
Yeah.
She's hilarious, but she's
mean.
She's meaner than hell. Derek, what was the first time that you watched, it's got to be somewhere around 2022, the first time you watched Texas Chainsaw Massacre?
Yeah. So the first time that I have this is in February of 2022, which is, I saw it days after it was released.
Okay.
My opinion on it has stayed about the same every time I've watched it. Because this was my third time watching it for this discussion. And then before that, we had watched it together. But yeah, I'm kind of lukewarm on this. It falls in a similar pocket to, for me, and I know this is going to be different for you probably, of Texas Chainsaw 3D, where like there are things in it that I really like.
Sure.
And then there are a lot of things in it that are just like dumb.
Yeah.
I mean, the overall everything of it is dumb.
Like really dumb, yeah.
And it's just kind of a flip of the coin as to which of those two movies I find more enjoyable to watch given the dumbness of them.
Sure. Where what I will give, and I will give it almost nothing. I will give it very little. But what I will give Texas Chainsaw 3D is that though the things that they tried in the movie were beyond the pale of bad decision and bad screenwriting and like, but why and for whom and why come and no, like all of the bad that has.
Right.
Somebody somewhere went, well, we can't just do the same thing.
Yeah.
We got to do something different. This movie is insulting, I think, to to the people that are like us or that like our show, that love this stuff so wholly, because it's like you haven't done anything new, not even from the perspective of this franchise, but from the perspective of all of the movies in the last 5 years. It's all the same stuff. Bitter, old, returning lady with white hair seeks revenge on person who she is shocked does not remember her or finds out that it was impersonal. And then you've got young new cast that kind of takes the mantle of the survivors. And you have like, you know, big butchery murder scene because the producers of the movie are going, well, we're going to give you the kind of gruesome shit that we couldn't do in the 70s. And it's all the same shit.
Yeah.
And I watched Halloween 2018 and I watched Halloween Kills and I watched the first one and thought, this is interesting. And then I watched the second one and went, it's kind of old. So by the time you get to this one, it's like, oh, this is very old. I do not like this at all. I just feel like if you're at this point, if you're going to do anything with any of these, you need to do what, and I cannot believe I'm saying this, but you have to do what Leatherface did. And you need to go backwards. You can't modernize it anymore. It doesn't make sense because I did the math. And if he is 20, if Leatherface is 20 years old in the first movie, then by the time 2022, the events of this movie happen, he's 68 years old. Same with Michael. Michael is in his early 70s, like late 60s, early 70s. You can't do that anymore. That's if you hit him hard enough with like a baseball bat, you break more bones in his body than he's ever killed anybody in the original series. Right. It just doesn't make any sense. So it's it's the suspension of disbelief, I think, of the things in this movie and the people in this movie doing the things they do in the order that they do it. That really, it's one of the things that soured me, I think, on Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I try. I try my best. The face of madness returns. After nearly 50 years of hiding, Leatherface returns to terrorize a group of idealistic influencers who accidentally disrupt his carefully shielded world in a remote Texas town. Fine.
That's what happens.
Yeah. I don't think 50 years of hiding is accurate, but that's a nitpick. But I'm in a nitpicky mood. So,
yeah. I mean, I think there's a couple lines in this where it's like Sally says, you know, I've waited 50 years for this. So it's like they're kind of putting the 50 years on there. Whereas like, I mean, Halloween 2018 is 40 years. And that's where like the age difference is just, there's about a decade difference.
Yeah.
But this would easily, if he was 19 or 20, let's say in the original film, he's 70 years old at least.
Right. It is the thing of my father is in his 60s. When he was in his early 60s, he worked out every day. He was in much better shape than I am. And it's the thing of, yeah, if he, you know, you could justify like a person like that, you know, being able to commit these crimes. Well, with the Michael of it all, you have like, well, he also just, the only thing he ever did was stand in place and not talk or move. So like how capable is he physically?
Yeah.
This one is beyond that. It's a 70-year-old man who clearly was not taken care of. He might as well have lived in a wall with his, by the way, with his fucking chainsaw, which we'll get to.
Yeah.
But that is the moment in this movie where I was like, I'm done. Like you already lost so much from me with the way that this is set up. And like movies. Just movies in general, but specifically horror movies. We get it. Kids are annoying. Young people are annoying. We're annoying.
Bad.
I get that.
Yeah.
It's all of our Groupons and our fucking Tinder and our, you know what I mean? Like and our hedge funds or whatever we do. I get it. We're annoying. But for the love of God, stop basing your movies around that. Stop gentrifying our fucking Texas, like, gross hillbilly movies.
Yeah. That's the thing with this one is like they really try for a couple of like, oh, well, we're a modern horror movie. We have to like have a theme and we have to have like an overarching, like, this is what we're actually getting at is like, you know, in this case, it's gentrification and it's like gun control and it's school shootings. And then like by the end of it, you're like, wait, who's the good guy in this?
Right.
But not in the same way that Texas Chainsaw 3D and Leatherface did it, where you're like, are we supposed to be like rooting for the Sawyers for some reason?
What I will give this one is that this one does it infinitely better than that one does, where in that movie, you're like, it shows that the Sawyers were like a family that stuck together, and then the corrupt mayor or whatever, fucking, and you're like, oh, go get him, cuz. And you're like, ah, fuck, what is this? This one at least is like, there's a moral conundrum that takes place in it. And so for just a moment, it's like, oh, this poor thing. And then his reaction is so overreactive and so horrific that it's like, oh, no, never mind. It's like, yes, they did something tragic to him, but he is a monster. It's like, you know, it's like Castlevania, where it's, you know, they've, for those of you who haven't seen the Netflix show, skip ahead 20 seconds, but it's like they murder Dracula's wife. This town murders his wife. And it was like, that was his only tie to humanity. So he murders everyone in this like village, like a town. And then he comes back a year later and does it again. Or maybe it's just the once. But he kills everyone. And it's like, yeah, you feel bad for him for the moment, but then his reaction is disproportionate to the thing that's happened to him.
Yeah.
So I like that.
I haven't seen all of that show, but whenever like that happened to him, was Dracula immediately like, bleh, blah, blah, my wife?
No, he was like, or whatever he does. It was like, beep, beep,
Richie.
Priest Richie.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre was released February 18th of 2022. It is directed by David Blue Garcia. It is written by Fede Alvarez, his writing partner, Rodo Sayegues. I'm still probably pronouncing that wrong. And Chris Thomas Devlin. It is also produced by Fede Alvarez, Herbert W. Gaines, Kim Hinkle, Ian Hinkle, and Pat Cassidy.
I usually don't step in this early. I did not know this was written by Fede Alvarez, whom I am a big fan of.
Yep.
And that has not saddened me, but it has been like, oh.
Yeah, he's human.
Well, yeah, I guess it is the thing of I'm sitting here and the only thing I have to say is negative about like the story elements of this movie. And then it's like, oh, it's written by somebody you really like. And it was like, oh man, that sucks.
Yeah.
I still really hate it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But I think that's fine. It's like, that's the difference between, you know, being a bad version of a fanboy. Yeah. And then being like realistic of like, well, I like all of this person's work, but like, yeah, that one is rough. Like, you know, the cinematography is done by Ricardo Diaz, who has also shot Butcher Boys, the horror comedy from 2012, a romance called First Girl I Loved from 2016, a drama film from 2017 called Fallen Stars, The Violent Heart, a thriller from 2020, All Fun and Games, a horror film from 2023, and then he was the second unit and assistant DP on Stranger Things seasons 4 and 5. The editor, Christopher S. Kapp, was an editor on Final Fantasy: The Spirits Within from 2001. Okay, which is like that. It's one of those early CGI, like fully CGI movies,
like Advent Children. Yeah, interesting.
He also was an editor on a portion of The Animatrix from 2003. He did the short Final Flight of the Osiris. He was also an editor on The Hunger Games in 2012. The sci-fi horror film Honeymoon from 2014, a B horror film from 2017 called Keep Watching. He cut 8 episodes of the Goosebumps series that's on Disney Plus, and then was the assistant editor on Pirates of the Caribbean: Curse of the Black Pearl.
Wow, okay.
Which is a perfect film.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
The budget for this film was $20 million.
Okay.
Which is about the same as it was for Texas Chainsaw 3D, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. Quite a bit more than the like 1.5 million that Leatherface was made for. There is no box office because this was straight to streaming. It debuted at number 2 on Netflix's global charts and racked up 29.2 million hours viewed within its first week. Okay. Which I was part of, I guess. The director, David Blue Garcia, has really not done a whole lot. He has a thriller film from 2018 called Tejano. And then he was the cinematographer for a 2018 horror film called Bloodfest, as well as one episode from season 14 of Red vs. Blue.
Weird.
I think that's the season.
Is that where he gets blue from?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I think that's the season where it wasn't fully done by Rooster Teeth. It was like they let other creators like each do like a short film as an episode, and they released that as like
interesting. Okay. Yeah, the problems I have with this movie have nothing to do with the way it looks or the way it moves. I think all of that is great. Yeah. I think that the way it's lit and the set pieces, I like the weather of it all, how it begins, that horrible storm, I think is really intelligent of a way to
trap them there
and also to make what would normally be kind of a bleak and uninteresting area immediately visually interesting. So yeah, I like his work. I like the way that the movie looks.
Agreed. The story was written by, and the producer is Fede Alvarez, who wrote and directed Evil Dead 2013, Don't Breathe from 2016, and Alien Romulus from 2024. The story is also written by Rodo Sayegues, who also wrote Evil Dead, and then he wrote and produced Don't Breathe 1 and 2, and Alien Romulus. He also is the director of Don't Breathe 2. I haven't seen the sequel, but I have seen the first one. The screenplay was written by Chris Thomas Devlin, who also wrote Cobweb from 2023. And he is writing the Blair Witch Project reboot, which is scheduled for 2027. Producer Herbert W. Gaines was an executive producer on House of Wax, the 2005 remake, Watchmen from 2009, Godzilla vs. Kong in 2021, as well as Dunes Part 1 and 2.
Okay.
Producer Kim Hinkle, we've talked about because he was also the producer on Texas Chainsaw Massacre from 74, Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Next Generation in 94, Texas Chainsaw Massacre in 03, Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Beginning in 06, Butcher Boys in 2012, Texas Chainsaw 2013, Leatherface 2017, as well as a documentary that we haven't mentioned, but I figured this is our last chance to really do it, called Chain Reactions. It came out in 2024, and one of the people who is a talking head in it is Patton Oswalt.
Interesting. Okay.
So gonna find
friend of the pod, Patton Oswalt.
Yeah. Whether he likes it or not.
He does not know. He is unaware.
The other producers, Ian Hinkle and Pat Cassidy, were also producers on Butcher Boys and Chain Reactions. And the music in this film is done by Colin Stetson, who had also done the music for Hereditary in 2018, Color Out of Space, which is a Lovecraft film from 2019, The Menu in 2022.
Okay.
Uzumaki, the 2024 anime that's on, like the horror anime that's on Netflix, I believe. And then Something Very Bad Is Going to Happen, a 2026 Netflix horror series.
Oh, I thought you were just saying that.
Well, yeah.
It's this episode.
Okay. To start with these production notes, just a reminder, by December of 2017, Lionsgate and Millennium Films, who had bought the rights to the Texas Chainsaw Massacre and had planned 6 sequels,
Right.
had already lost the film rights due to the amount of time it took them to finally release Leatherface.
Good.
So in August of 2018, it was then reported that Legendary Pictures had entered preliminary negotiations to purchase the film rights to Texas Chainsaw Massacre, with the studio intending to adapt not only for film but also TV. The following year, Fede Alvarez signed onto the project as a producer. In November of 2019, Thomas Devlin, he joined the production as the screenwriter. In February of 2020, Ryan Tohill and Andy Tohill were hired to serve as directors for this film, with Angus Mitchell as the cinematographer after they had collaborated on The Dig in 2018.
Is that a sequel to Holes?
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay.
In May of the same year, it was announced that the film would serve as a sequel to the original film, much like every sequel in this series, and would feature a 60-year-old Leatherface, notably similar to the approach that Blumhouse Productions took on their Halloween sequel films.
What?
So this is a film that is a direct sequel to the original 1974.
Yeah.
That doesn't explicitly ignore the events of Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 or The Next Generation. And then although this film doesn't it more explicitly contradicts Leatherface, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3, because in the opening of that one, the narration, it explains that Sally had died prior to the events of Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3.
Right.
So it's like both of these can't be canon at the same time. All that to say, because in February of 2022, Fede Alvarez spoke about this film's relation to the other sequels, that the film does not explicitly erase the continuity of them. And so he stated, quote, "When movies do that, sometimes it feels a bit disrespectful to all the other films. Some people love Texas Chainsaw 2. I love a lot of things about that movie. It's so wacky and of its time, but the rest is such a mess canon-wise. I think it's up to you to decide when and how the events of the other movies happen."
I don't understand how it doesn't explicitly ignore them. It's not that it ignores them. It just doesn't mention them at all.
Right.
So yeah, fuck you. That is so cheesy. It's like, well, it doesn't ignore. It's like, yeah, it also doesn't ignore the events of Ryan Reynolds' Green Lantern. Mm-hmm. It doesn't ignore the events of fucking Inferno or Suspiria. Mm-hmm. Those things could be happening as well.
They probably are.
They don't talk about it because it has zero bearing on the story they're telling.
Well, and I think the better example of that is something that you've already mentioned, which came out the same year on a different streaming service, because Hellraiser 2022 doesn't explicitly say that, oh, well, this exists so the others can't.
Yeah.
And it also doesn't explicitly say, oh, but you also have to take all of the sequels in to the canon. It doesn't mention any of that, but it works with the universe where you can kind of make that. This feels more of like they didn't want to commit to anything, which is the other problem that I have with the themes that are present here. They don't commit it.
No, definitely not. The other thing is Hellraiser does this awesome thing where throughout its lineage, even the shitty sequels, they cherry pick the things that different creatives who have worked on the films in that series have added to the lore. And they go, well, no, that's interesting. His name is, Elliot Spencer, and it's called the Lament Configuration, and it was created by this French artist, and they keep those things. And so 2022 uses some of them, but it also is like, and also we're completely recreating the lore of this box. Who gives a shit?
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah. And that's what I mean. That in my intro, that's what I meant by franchise forward movie making, because it doesn't matter. None of it matters. If it's a different guy who wears a mask and calls himself Leatherface over the course of seven different counties in Texas, and they're all just the habit. It's what I said. I don't remember the episode, but I mentioned that it reminds me of the McPoyles from Always Sunny.
You've said it. Let me correct. You've said it in every episode.
Well, good. It's a good fucking pull.
It's a great analogy.
Yeah, because if there's a bunch of Sawyer cells that just exist everywhere, and there's always something you've said in every one of these episodes, because you can't help but make references to things. Just like I can't help but repeat myself, because I have no memory, and you have a memory like a steel trap, but only for pop culture references.
Man, he got me.
I got myself. I got the Third Channel podcast.
Yeah. Vote for us, Best of the Bay.
This is the quality that you could expect.
I don't got a lot more. Principal photography. I mean, I don't have a lot more in me.
I know. Guys, he just walked out in his ram.
Principal photography began on August 17th of 2020 in Bulgaria. Again. However, after the studio was unimpressed with what was filmed, they fired Ryan and Andy Tohill. David Blue Garcia was then hired to replace them as the director, and the footage that was shot by the Tohill brothers would not be used, with Garcia starting over on the production completely. Director of photography Angus Mitchell left the project along with the directors and was replaced by Ricardo Diaz. So Garcia and Diaz were then given a very short amount of time for preparation and worked off of, quote, shorthand and bullet points, as well as an understanding of the first film. So by March of 2021, Alvarez announced that production had been completed, and while he confirmed that the film would focus on an older-aged Leatherface, the filmmaker revealed that the production took an old-school approach to filmmaking, noting vintage lenses and practical effects used for the gore, which, yeah, you can see that.
Sure, yeah. For the most part.
Yeah. I think it does it the correct amount. Obviously, it's a movie made when it was. It's like, yeah, they're going to have some digital stuff in there to touch things up.
CG is the genie out of the bottle. Once you know that you can do that to punch up things or make things look better, you're not going to not use it out of principle. It makes the movie look better.
Yeah.
But I can see it's mostly practical.
In May of 2021, it was reported that after test screenings, the audience reaction was generally negative. But in August, Fede Alvarez had stated that an overall audience response at test screenings was mostly positive, and emphasized that the film remains respectful to the first film's legacy.
Yeah, much like all the polls that show that Trump's economy is great when he talks about the polls.
Right.
Not to compare Fede Alvarez to Donald. I'm going to stop that. I don't like that. That reflects poorly on our boy, friend of the podcast, Fede Alvarez, who doesn't know, but if he did, he would be our friend.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. In October of 2020, the film was initially slated for a theatrical release sometime in 2021. But then probably after those negative or positive test screenings,
depending on who you ask,
it was then revealed that they were going to skip that theatrical release and instead release it exclusively on Netflix, which is where you can still find it right now. So looking toward the future, because this is the last Texas Chainsaw that we'll talk about for a while.
Yeah, for a while.
So an upcoming 10th film, tentatively titled Texas Chainsaw Legacy, was in development at some point. And a bidding war for the future rights were underway, with many studios and creatives, jockeying for it. In September of 2025, A24 is the production company that emerged as the frontrunner, with the Netflix film still happening. The former ultimately acquired the film and television rights to the franchise in February of 2026. though distribution for the film previously set at Netflix remains in question. So there may still be some rights being held there.
Yeah.
But A24 is going to be producing the next Texas Chainsaw Massacre film on April 21st of 2026. It was announced that Curry Baker, who is the director of Obsession, is set to write and direct the planned untitled 10th film with A24.
Now that I am actually okay with. Not A24. A24 can go fuck itself because from my understanding, they're as a studio, they're like, yeah, AI, I have no problem with that. Use it if you want. Who cares? And it's like, stop it.
Yeah.
But I loved Obsession. I think that when you find out what the budget is for that movie, and you're like, what? It costs nothing. And he just had a good idea, wrote it down, shot it with some people that he met, not over a very small period of time, costing almost no money, using sets that they just had access to. It's like, yeah, that reminds me of how the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre was made by a guy who was creative with a vision with almost no money. Oh shit, do you think this guy has a van? The Obsession guy, do you think he's got like a van?
Well, everybody needs a van.
Do you think he has a really fucking obnoxious friend in a wheelchair?
Say you know what you did to my friends. You don't remember me?
Of course we don't remember you because you're not actually Sally.
What?
No, that actress is no longer with us. But they found just somebody who's awful. And they were like, you want to do this? And she was like, do I get a budget of chewing tobacco? And they were like, sure, you broom handle. Oh my God. I hate that. The Sally of it all is my least favorite part of this movie.
Yeah, it's a thing where I love Halloween 2018.
Yeah.
We talked about it for like 3 hours. And so, like, I understand the want to do a similar thing with Sally here. If we're doing a legacy sequel, that seems like the easy way to do it, especially when you have a survivor.
Sure.
And we've done not exactly that same thing, but it's like we've brought Nancy back to fight Freddy multiple times.
But that was in such a recent period to the original film that it wasn't like, come on. Yeah. Like, Heather Langenkamp was still a young woman. Like, the thing that bothers me with this is that, and I spent a long time trying to figure out why it didn't work for me the same way that Laurie Strode works for me in Halloween 2018. Halloween is about Laurie. Texas Chainsaw is about the events. Yeah. It's not a character story. The Sally is obviously the lead of all of them, but you only find that out when she's the last one alive.
Correct.
The movie focuses on all of them and they just run around. And only when she is the last one standing does the movie shift to be about her.
Yeah.
And so for her to come back and be like, do you remember me? And it's like, I guess that's a direction to take. I think this movie would have been so much more interesting if the reason all of this happens is because there's a storm and they can't call the cops. And the final, the finale is about these two young women having to face off, these two young women who have suffered at the hands of the modern world and violence and all of these things, having to grapple old school, unfettered violence.
Yeah.
But instead, it's just another fucking revenge story for a character we know nothing about. You don't know anything about Sally. You know that she's going to visit and she's in Texas. She's got a bunch of friends and her cousin is the most obnoxious piece of shit. Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, don't tell her that. It's just, oh God. It does not work for me at all in this one.
And she's so underused. She shows up to basically achieve nothing.
She's so underused that she ends up actually causing more harm.
Yeah.
Because she is so... And they try to do the thing that they do with Lori, where Lori's like, oh no, I learned how to do everything on earth to defend myself. I have booby trapped my house with things from security systems all the way down to like spike traps. And I have learned how to wire flamethrowers. And like, I am a doomsday prepper because my doomsday already happened and I'm waiting for it to come back. They tried and like suggest that that's what's happened here. And she's terrible. Yeah. She's the worst survivalist of all time. Fortunately, she didn't run into the cocaine bear.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We start with an opening of like basically a true crime like television special about the events of the original film.
Yeah.
With voiceover, a very, kind of modern take on the crawl.
And when I started watching this movie, I had that thought. I was like, oh, that's a fresh take on that. And it's good exposition for people who may know. I like that. Good for them. Yeah. There's no but. There was nothing negative about that. Yeah,
I like that. The narrator there is John Larroquette. He is who narrated the original in 1974, as well as in the remake 2003.
How did you pronounce that last name?
Larroquette.
Laura Keat. It's like the bird.
I don't believe so.
Oh, okay.
He was in Night Court.
That theme song is funky as hell.
But yeah, basically, following like all these sequels, following Leatherface's killing spree in 1973.
The other thing that happens here is that making it a true crime documentary about what has happened, the things that happen that night are so grisly. And so the things you find out, the cannibalism of it all, it does make sense then for there to be 50 years later, a true crime documentary talking about this thing in time. That's where Halloween fell off, where it was like everybody knows about the Halloween babysitter murders. And it's like fucking a handful of people got. Yeah. Like, yes, it's a handful of people, but their house was filled with bones.
Yeah, it's a big difference.
Yeah.
Basically Sally gave her statement after the events, and then she's never talked about it again. And instead she became a Texas Ranger and has spent the last 50 years searching for Leatherface. And like there's this, because then we meet our lead, and because they're stopped at a gas station and she asks a question about it, and the guy is like, because she asks, well, did she ever find him? And he's like, well, it's pretty difficult to find somebody who was wearing a mask. And it's like, okay, yeah, that at least puts some understanding as to like, why is she still searching after 50 years? I guess that's the best answer we get.
Yeah. I don't know. There's nothing believable about any of this character being in this movie to the point where it's distracting.
Yeah. Yeah.
And truly. She's terrible.
And it doesn't do enough to really warrant, like you said, we could have just focused on our lead pair of sisters.
Yeah. Do you know who JD Vance is?
Yes.
He's the vice president. He wears eyeliner. He's had sex with sofas.
Yeah.
So he wrote a book called Hillbilly Elegy. And I don't know anything about it. I don't plan to read it because I don't read or I don't consume art from fascists. Yeah. But they made a movie out of it that starred Amy Adams and Glenn Close. And there is this fucking clip that gets passed around because she was like nominated for an Oscar for it. And she plays like a surly old country grandma with like white hair. And at one point, she looks at Amy Adams' character, and I guess she's like the grandmother to Amy Adams' son, who I think is supposed to be JD Vance. And you can tell because he's just fucking slapping nuts into a couch. But she's like, I'm taking him, and I'm going to raise him. And if you got a problem with that, you can talk to the barrel of my gun. And it's like so ashtray, shitty, like white trash performance. And that's what Sally's character this entire movie reminds me of.
Okay. Yeah, I see that.
Yeah, it's a long walk to get there. I really wanted to dig into JD Vance's love of cushioned furniture, but it doesn't matter.
There is a basically the group of young people in this movie.
Yeah.
There is a couple of young entrepreneurs, Melody and Dante. We have Melody's sister. Is it Leila?
I think it's Lila, but I didn't realize it was a sister. I thought it was more like adoptive.
I mean, maybe, but they're siblings one way or the other.
Okay.
And then Dante's girlfriend, Ruth, they are traveling to this abandoned town in Texas that's called Harlow. And they're planning to, they have they're house flippers, and they've purchased all this property on this like ghost town in the middle of Texas.
They mentioned like businesses keep failing and like no one can get it to work. So they're going to go in and buy the entire town and turn it into like the Google headquarters or whatever, which is annoying. I get it. Young people are annoying. They all sit there and they spread their avocados onto their toasts or whatever they do.
Do we just want to agree whether we know because I watched it a week ago, so I can't think of the pronunciation. Is it Lila or Leela? Do we just want to pick one?
I'm saying Lila.
Lila.
I remember it being Lila.
Okay. Lila's played by Elsie Fisher, who was the voice of Agnes in Despicable Me 1 and 2.
Agnes! Call back to fucking Black Christmas, folks.
She is in Bo Burnham's 2018 film 8th Grade, which I haven't seen. She plays Joy Wilkes in season 2 of Castle Rock. Castle Rock, for anyone who doesn't know, is the Stephen King series that's not like a full, like it's not an adaptation of anything in particular, but it kind of takes a bunch of characters from his work and kind of puts them in a town.
Is McConaughey in it?
I don't know.
Does he play the Man in Black?
Let's say that it is.
I hope not.
But yeah, Joy Wilkes is Annie Wilkes' daughter, I believe.
Okay.
Annie Wilkes from... oh my God, my brain is blank.
It's Stephen King. Is it the one with the clown?
No, it's the one with the woman who takes the guy and holds him hostage. Misery. I was like, it starts with an M.
Me.
She's also in My Best Friend's Exorcism, a horror comedy from 2022, and she is in The Bear season 5.
Okay.
Which I haven't watched yet.
Her character is a survivor. As the movie goes on, you kind of figure out this more and more. It pieces it more together through like flashback of a school shooting, which is very dark and very serious and handled, I think, really terribly because, and I'm jumping so far ahead, I'm going to get whiplash because I'm going to the end of the movie. I absolutely think it is in terrible taste that the survivor of a school shooting's big character growth is she learns to use a gun to kill people.
That's the problem I have.
I find
with
that
this film
insane to do.
Yes.
It's like, oh yeah, my mother, going back to Hillbilly Elegy or whatever, it's like my mother overdosed on drugs, but I finally learned to use heroin for good. And it's like, well, no, that doesn't make any sense. Like this horribly dark and bleak and really like culturally sensitive subject that I don't mean to make, art is in all forms and art often will pull the thread on really serious social issues. But like they could have used this in an interesting way to say something that matters.
And I think they were toying at that, but did not want to commit to anything.
No.
And so they just give this really muddied kind of like, what are we supposed to take from this?
Right. You end it with like, it's like a flashback to the school shooting and her laying on the ground and seeing a bunch of blood and her friends are dead. And then it's like she snaps out of it and like summons a shotgun like Cappy summons Mjolnir and is like, I got this. And it's like, what? Fetty, what are you saying?
I think... No, we'll get there.
Okay, all right.
So hopefully I remember to do that bit. Melody, her sister, is played by Sarah Yarkin, who was in one episode of season 7 of American Horror Story. I couldn't even tell you what season 7 was.
Nope.
Happy Death Day to You from 2019.
Okay.
She is in a zombie film from 2019 called Eat Brains Love. And she is in 24 episodes of School Spirits, a teen fantasy series.
Eat Brains Love as a title makes me want to join you outside where you currently are walking around in traffic, but it's very late and we live in a very secluded area.
Yeah, there's like nobody out here.
Yeah. Charlie's out here.
Right.
Still trying to get in from last time.
Melody's partner, business partner, Dante Spivey. He's the only one that has like a last name given in this whole thing.
Weird.
Is played by Jacob Lattimore, who was in Vanishing on 7th Street, a mystery film from 2010. He is in The Maze Runner from 2014. I've never seen those films. He's in Slight, a crime film from 2016, and he's in the 2023 House Party remake.
Dante's character also confuses me about what this movie is trying to say. Because he complains loudly and is upset about something that he is well within his right to.
Absolutely.
He is called the N-word by a very old, white, racist, crazy lady. No, but this is the thing. The movie positions him being called this word as feigned, like not even feigned, like as innocent, and being like, well, no, I didn't mean anything by that. That's just what we called him back then.
Right.
Is a line in the movie. And then because of his actions, the woman who calls him that is like, suffers a great hardship that the movie is like blaming him to a degree on.
We should feel bad for her that they caused this. And it,
that like he is like, well, he's like a hothead. And it's like, no, he was just called a horrible thing in a home with a Confederate flag outside. Like, what is it trying to say?
Yeah. That's what I mean, man.
I don't understand.
Really muddy message, I guess.
Yeah.
But I can't agree with pretty much any of it.
Well, because then, and we're going to get to this guy as well, but in the, kind of talking about the movie's theming, it's like, then you have the guy who runs the mechanic shop.
Yeah, Richter.
Who is also kind of like that. But then is like, oh, I'm willing to lay it all on the line to save you, strangers. And it's like, so what? It's like racists with a heart of gold?
Yeah.
Because that's a terrible thing and you shouldn't do that.
Yeah. Dante's girlfriend, Ruth, is played by Nell Hudson, who was in 24 episodes of the costume drama Victoria. She is in Haunting of the Queen Mary, a 2023 horror. And
which is bad.
The Doll Factory, 6 episodes of that thriller series.
I have not seen that. She has nothing.
She is a nothing character.
She's like a tertiary character. She serves the point
to send a text message.
Correct. And to die in the way in this movie that is the second funniest.
Okay. Yes.
I'm not going to spoil it. We'll get there in the discussion. All I'm going to say, Darth Maul. Please continue.
So they're at this gas station. That's where they bump into Richter, who pulls up in a big truck.
It's also revealed that there is a police scanner in this gas station because I guess he's also like a policeman or something. Or, I don't know.
Maybe he just likes to listen in.
He's a creep. He's a weirdo. What the hell is he doing there? He doesn't belong there. Anyway, go ahead.
But Richter's filling up his big truck, and Melody insults him for wearing a gun on his hip. And
he's like, this is Texas.
Pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, seriously. I like this. It's the rug pull of he's the handsome guy with the truck at the station. Oh my God, he's a Sawyer. But then the movie goes in a completely different direction.
Yeah, true. Richter is played by Mo Dunford, who was in The Lodgers, a 2017 horror film. He's in 36 episodes of Vikings.
I can see that.
He is in The Dig, which is the 2018 thriller that was directed by that pair of directors who were then let go.
And that movie
is the sequel of Holes.
Thank
of course.
you.
This guy replaced
Shia LaBeouf because of all the dog fighting and horrible domestic dispute.
Yeah.
You guys should have seen all the hand gestures I was doing at Derek to get him to say the sequel to Holes joke. Thanks, man. Classic beans, bacon mess around.
But yeah, on their way to Harlow, they are stopped by Sheriff Hathaway, who is played by William Hope. He was in Aliens.
Wow, okay.
He's also in Hellbound, Hellraiser 2.
Okay.
He plays Kyle.
What? Oh,
who is the orderly who works for the doctor.
Okay.
And he breaks her out.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, okay. Anyway.
I thought you were just going to keep escalating your volume and your pitch. I was excited for it.
Yeah, maybe.
We'll get there.
We'll get there.
That's our catchphrase.
But yeah, basically the sheriff is just kind of like, he kind of acts as a harbinger in this moment of like, it's like you kind of have the gas station guy, but he's more of like,
there's a death group.
I know what you guys are doing and I don't agree with it. And then the sheriff is also like, we all know what you guys are doing and we don't agree with it. And then there's a quick moment of like, oh, well, our mother is from there. And there's like a line given of like, when Harlow's sunflower blooms, winter is doomed. And that gives them some kinship here of like, oh, okay, I get it. All's forgiven. We'll keep an eye out for you.
But Why?
Yeah.
And here's what I mean. Why? Because I disagree with what you're doing, because you and a band of 30 or younger people are buying this town that we all live and have lived in forever. We're a small town community, and you're buying it up. You're snatching it away from us. So I don't like that. Oh, no, I have a distant relative from here. Oh, okay. Well, then that's fine, I guess.
Yeah.
You just have it be antagonistic. That's more interesting. If it's antagonistic and then they are reaching out and like, please help, and they ignore it and they're like, whatever, these fucking kids.
But like, does the sheriff come back into play in any way in this movie?
No.
I didn't think so.
No, he's not even in the ambulance.
Right.
Like, it does not matter.
No, he is. No. That is where he comes in.
Oh,
that's
is he the driver?
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
That's what I was forgot. I was like, why do we have this moment
Is
if
it
they're
the
not going
difference
to
of
do
hat and no hat?
Probably that.
Okay.
Probably that.
He gets got.
Harlow, if you hadn't seen, the population is 1,974.
Oh, wow.
Which is 1974, which is the year that the original film came out.
Yeah, 1976.
Harlow is in the fictional Hooper County.
Great.
Toby Hooper.
Okay.
Just pointing these things out in
Yeah.
case you missed them.
None of these things bother me. That's all cute.
Good. But yeah, we find out like that Richter, the guy in the big truck who they like had their like negative moment with at the gas station, he is the contractor who's been in contact with Dante, that he's hired him to like fix up all the facades on these buildings so that they can sell them.
He's also like one of the holdouts of like, well, no, but I'm keeping my shop.
Yeah.
Which becomes a thing, because then there's like the sun will come out tomorrow of it all. That would have been an interesting movie.
Yeah.
That'll make sense in a minute, but Leatherface is Annie.
Oh.
Yeah. And Dante, he's Daddy Warbucks.
Ooh.
Because he's the guy and he's got the money. He's not bald.
No. But maybe it would be like those prequel X-Men films. We would find out how he goes bald.
He's like, I got all this money. Oh, my hair fell out. And unfortunately for me, I'm not like Elon. I didn't live in a time with hair plugs. And I didn't get the opportunity to have my body look like a distended, bloated fucking refrigerator made out of rib cage.
Yeah, if only.
Man, I'm just going to town on politicians today.
Yeah, man, it's got you riled up, this film.
Yeah, you know what's sad? We've been doing this show for like a year and a half, and we've been making this joke for a long time. And right now, if I was like, release the list, that's still relevant.
Yeah,
That's sad.
it is sad.
This is why we don't care about what horrible things happen in these movies, because there's nothing worse than the real world. So
no one's held accountable for any of the bad things that they do.
yeah,
Unless you're a woman.
oh, or not white.
Yeah,
Well, then we're in the clear.
that is true.
Okay. Well,
I feel a little guilty about that.
I feel terrible about it.
Okay. Now that we're depressed,
But see,
let's
that's
move
the thing.
into
What we just said is a theme, and we
Right.
stuck to it to its end. Right.
Yeah, that's true. I'd hope, that people understand where we fall on the political aisle, if you will, just by listening to our show
Yeah, I think you'd have to.
at this point, right?
10
You
minutes,
couldn't possibly.
10 minutes ago, I made fun of JD Vance's mom for having an opium addiction, just to make a point.
Yeah. But he only does heroin for good.
The hero, not JD Vance. JD
Right.
Vance does heroin to forget about all the cocaine he's already done.
And anyway. They end up at this orphanage because of the Confederate flag
Yes.
that is hanging outside the window. And so they go in to take that down because they have a big bus of people who are coming to buy up the property. So they don't want that being seen.
Right.
And this is where they bump into an elderly woman who is called Jenny. Jenny is played by Alice Krieg, who is in Sleepwalkers from '92, which is a Mick Garris film. She is in The Little Vampire in
Is she
2000.
really? Who does she play?
I will have to look that up, but I can do that.
Okay.
She is also in Thor: The Dark World from 2013.
Okay.
And she is in Gretel and Hansel, the 2020
yeah.
Osgood Perkins dark fantasy.
Weird. We mentioned that. Somebody else was in that recently
Yeah.
because we talked about that recently as well.
But yeah, she is in The Little Vampire. She plays Frida Sackville-Bag, who is Gregory, Anna, and Rudolph's mother.
What?
Yeah.
Amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I love that movie.
Yeah. I mean, she's in a lot of other stuff, genre stuff, non-genre stuff, but like those are the things that I kind of knew.
I think I referenced that movie in Next Generation because that's what the big stupid truck reminded me of. Okay. Everything's connected, folks.
Yeah, she's basically, she seems to not be all there.
No.
And in this back and forth, they're like, oh, you must be confused. Like, what are you still doing here? We've settled all this. We own all the properties. And she's like,
no, I figured it out. I have my paperwork. I figured like that's all in the past.
We settled it with the bank. Like we figured out the confusion. And so they keep, reiterating of like, well, can you show us that paperwork? And she's like, I don't have to do that because it's my building. Like I own the place.
And also it's none of these two's business at all to continue to push this. And it was something I'm like shouting at the TV because like even Melody, who isn't being like rude about it. It's like, you can tell that this woman is under duress. She's carrying an oxygen tank for fuck's sake. Like she's not doing well. And you are just continuing to be like, no, like even with the apologies that are being delivered, because Dante is immediately aggressive, which again, I understand, but she is like, no, ma'am, I'm sorry, but you have to, she's basically like, no, I'm sorry, queen, but you have to get the fuck out of here right now. I'm so sorry, sweetheart, you piece of shit. Go now. Sorry. Bye. And it's like, what is this?
Yeah. It is that thing of like, they need to, in this moment, just let it go and like call the police or call the bank and figure it out on that end. And if it comes down to like, if their reasoning behind it is like, oh, well, we can't because we're trying to sell all the buildings. And it's like, then don't sell this one.
Or do, because you in your mind you have it, do, and worry about the squatter later.
Right.
But and if their goal is to get the Confederate flag down, just go to Richter. You have rapport with him. Just be like, hey man, can you get that down?
Who gets it down anyway.
Right. Immediately, by the way. Yeah, and then so within this scene, she mentions that this is an orphanage and that she's always had all of her boys are, because I think it was like a boys' home.
Yeah. And that I think she's been the mother there for like the last 50 years or something.
Right.
Because you do see the date that the orphanage opened many years prior.
And then in the one photo that's black and white, you see the obvious evidence that there is a much larger human in the photograph, like the yearbook photo.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, I can see where this is going.
Right.
And then, they sit down because she's refusing to listen to them because she is elderly and obviously not lucid in this moment. And she becomes more lucid as she gets more emotional. But at one point, they're having an argument at the foot of the steps of this very old building. And you hear floorboards creak. And she looks up and is like clearly afraid. And it's like, no, honey, I'm fine. And she's talking to this massive figure in like silhouetted in black. Bigger than I think he was in the first movie. He's like the way he is made to look in this movie is he's huge.
Oh yeah.
And she's like, no, everything's fine. And it is that her performance is so good. She's so clearly terrified, not of him,
but what he's capable of,
but what he will do to them. And I like that. I like that from that perspective. But then, it's what I mentioned earlier. They sit down at this table to have sweet tea, and the building is like a little careworn and kind of let go, but it's not gross.
Yeah.
So they're sitting there and Dante has, and if it's not clear, Dante is a black man who is upset about the Confederate flag, upset about like kind of his reception here. And she uses some choice language. Like I said, she calls him the N-word. She calls him like a boy in that way. And he gets very upset, cusses her out and leaves. And then she is like, tells Melody, like, no, you don't understand. I didn't mean any harm by it. And that's what I mean is like, okay, but that shouldn't matter narratively, but they're making it out so that it does because we need us to be sympathetic about her. But here's the thing. I keep finding myself saying this in these episodes. This movie was written. It's not a scroll they found. Do you know what I mean?
And they're like, we have to adapt that. Exactly.
It's not Homer and Nolan's like, well, I don't want to change that. Yeah. It's like somebody wrote this in 2021. Like, you could just have her not say racist things and then actually be sympathetic without it meaning anything. And if you want it to be dicey about what it means, have it pay off somehow.
Yeah.
But it doesn't. It's just like, oh, okay. But ultimately, her continued harassment leads her to assumedly have a heart attack.
Yeah, because the cops have been called and they do show up at this time.
Right.
And then she has what looks to be a heart attack in front of them.
And she's like sitting and talking to Melody, and like the conversation's like okay. Like they're almost touching that middle ground again. And then the cops show up and she's like, what did you do? What have you done? And her reaction is so disproportionate. And only when the events of the rest of the film take place do you realize that it wasn't what have you done as in you've ruined my life. It's what have you done? I know what he is.
Yeah.
And I'm the only thing that's kept him from the world. And I like that as well. I wish it did more.
Right.
Because the next sequence is my favorite in the entire movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So yeah, we'll just go through that basically because they take Jenny, the sheriff and his deputy, take Jenny in like their ambulance van.
Yeah, they're like, aren't you going to call an ambulance? And one of the cops is like, honey, we are the ambulance. Like, it's that, and it's illustrative of how small a town it is, which is fun.
Yeah, because it's a very good way of doing that.
It's like world building.
How distant they are out, how sparse the people are out here.
Yeah, 911 is going to call one dispatch. That's everything because there's 1,000 people here, well,
which is probably also why like the gas station guy has a CB radio as well. Is like if he needed to contact, like chain that call along. Maybe
you mean like the beacons of Gondor?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So they load up with the big guy, the hulking figure that was upstairs.
Well, and it's great because they're all getting in, and then he's just like entering the ambulance, and it's like everyone looks around like, oh fuck, and he just gets in.
And Melody is feeling guilty at this point, and she tries to go, but then the van of all their people show up, and so they're like, "Well, no, Melody, you and Dante need to be here." And so Ruth is like, well, "I'm a pointless character. I'll go along with them."
Right.
And so they are driving into town, and Jenny ends up dying in the back of this van,
and it's a real moment. And this is what I like that the movie does. It's very brief, but it is heartbreaking because Leatherface, who they don't name him.
I don't think they name him at all
because in the series he has been in the franchise. He has been both Bubba and Jed. So Jabba or whatever.
Yeah,
is like he's
Jabba.
Right. Did you want to touch Jabba?
Oh, I want to touch Jabba.
But he's like, he does not understand what is happening.
Right.
He has this oxygen mask. So obviously he has had to help her before. And he's just like mashing it onto her.
Yeah.
Like,
and turning knobs and he's trying. It's impactful. It's sad.
Yeah. And he's getting more and more worked up.
I mean, think about it. This is his mother for the last 50 years after coming from the household that we know he came from.
Right. It is the only person in his world for more time than a lot of people have on Earth. And she is dead now. And he doesn't understand that.
Right.
And I don't know. And I want your take on this. I don't know. Because as he's cranking this oxygen thing and he's, getting more and more like verbally upset. He's not speaking, but he's just making noise like he does in the original. A lot of like whimpers and almost like ape, like kind of
grunts.
Yeah. And as he continues to do that, the cop reaches out and grabs his wrist. To me, I'm on the fence of if the cop is being aggressive because Leatherface is clearly getting more and more worked up.
Or comforting.
Is it like, hey man, like, I'm sorry, she's gone. And I can't tell because the camera work is so frantic, which I think is beneficial to the scene. I would like to have seen it be sympathetic. I think that would have done more to immediately then show the moral shift of even in the heartbreak that he is experiencing, people are trying to reach him and he is incapable of experiencing any of that because he then takes the cop who's touched his wrist at all, snaps his wrist open to where his fucking arm bones have snapped and have become like sharp sticks, which he then in the goriest, most like, fuck, is he snaps this guy's wrist and then takes the bones and shoves them into his neck and like up into his like jaw meat, not unlike the headrest in Evil Dead Burn, which was not sexy. And that character isn't sexy at all. I've changed my mind.
Okay.
I saw Evil Dead Burn again. And I didn't change my mind about anything.
Oh.
Except that.
Well, not. Oh, okay.
No, I'm kidding.
I'm confused now.
I'm still in the same spot there. I'm working through it. I got a therapist. We're dealing with
That's
it.
good.
No, she quit on me.
I absolutely love this kill.
Yeah.
It's how fluid the whole action is, and it lends itself to the Leatherface that we've seen through all these different movies. I understand that this isn't necessarily the same Leatherface, but that he like kind of finds in the moment, he uses what's around him as a weapon.
Yeah, and I like that. What I don't like is it's like freakishly strong. It takes him no effort to do that. It's bordering on the Jason Voorhees side of like that supernatural paranormal strength. But I can't think of a single moment in any of the movies we've discussed where he does some insane feat of. At one point in Next Generation, he picks up like a big thing, but it might just be hollow metal.
Yeah.
But like to do what he does to this guy's wrist is crazy.
Yeah.
And it's like they make him big and hulking. It feels like Michael Myers when it's Taylor Mame. It's like, oh, this is a different version of this character. He's much bigger, but it's supposed to directly be a sequel, not a retelling. So I don't know. Yeah. It's hit or miss for me. But then there's a scuffle in the back of this like paddy wagon.
Yeah. And like with his other hand, the cop had pulled his service weapon and it fires like hitting the sheriff who's driving like through the neck, I believe. And then they crash out in the middle of this sunflower field.
Which is gorgeous.
Yes. I love the way that this thing, plows through and then smashes into like a tractor
like a dead 30-year-old rust-covered abandoned tractor in the middle of this field. If the whole movie, because all of the marketing of this movie is those sunflowers. And God bless them, because that's the most beautiful location I've ever seen. I wish the whole movie was out there. Like, I hate the town setting. I hate how boring and they use the rain in a way to try to spice it up.
Yeah.
But like, oh God, when he's walking away at the end of this scene and it's like the storm clouds rolling in and it's just fields of like dead or dying sunflowers. It's just the most beautiful thing ever. And it's so Texas. It just has that like almost desert, not really feel to it. Oh, I love it so much.
Yeah. Leatherface here is played by Mark Burnham, who was in Hidden in the Woods, a 2014 thriller. He's in Altered Perception, a fantasy thriller from 2017, and a movie called Dog from 2022, which was a buddy cop film with Channing Tatum and a dog.
Goddamn. Good job, Channing.
I love how, like, through this whole sequence, in the house, in the van, you never get, he's not wearing a mask, but he just has like long, scraggly hair, and you never get a full look at his face.
Either he's out of focus, he's shot in the shadow, or his hair is in his face.
Yeah, you see like an eye part of his face, something like that, but never a full look at him.
And again, I want to really like that because it is a creative way to get around the problem of showing the face of your masked killer.
Right.
However, this is not new. They did not create this. It is not their idea. They did it 4 years before with Michael in Halloween 2018 and would then do it again for 2 sequels, where every time you see Michael, it's like either in a distorted reflection or he's out of focus or he's in the shadow. And that's how they get away with Nick Castle's face just being out. And again, I want to like this, but it's like, if the rest of the movie weren't so fucking similar to it, I would think that it's a coincidence.
Yeah.
And not directly being ripped off. Because that's what it feels like. It feels like, it doesn't feel like you're borrowing. It feels like you're plagiarizing.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I like his look. Yeah. I like the way that you know, because he gets his mask here in a second, which I have a lot of questions about. But I like the way he ends up looking in this movie. I think that, like, aside from the first film where they didn't try to make him scary.
Right.
And then in the subsequent movies, the masks get crazier and he gets darker in his clothing and whatever. But, like, in this one, not really. He's just wearing clothes and he's dirty and, like, old. Yeah. And the face mask is the thing that makes him scary. And I think this movie does that well as well.
Yeah. Back in Harlow, we have, the van the big bus has pulled up. There's an investor there, Catherine, who's played by Jessica Alain. She was in a 2023 horror film called Fear. And she's also in The Continental, which is the 2023 John Wick, like, miniseries.
Which is my, by the way, first favorite kill in the movie.
Okay, yeah.
Ruth is my second. That one's my first. And I'm not going to spoil it, but I am going to say Darth Maul.
Yes. But yeah, she shows up and with a bunch of investors, possible investors, or potential buyers, I guess.
Yeah.
And she's going to have this
it's like an auction.
Yeah. And so she's kind of distracting and working with Melody and Dante. And then Lila, she sneaks off and goes to Richter's shop, and he is cleaning his guns.
Yeah.
And she's, like, asking questions about it. And this is where it's revealed that she's the survivor of a school shooting, terrified of guns, as you would believe.
The thing that makes sense for her character to be.
Yes. And she has this moment where she's like, you know, having survived something like that, I feel like everyone expects me to do something great with my life, and I'm just kind of not achieving those things.
Yeah.
And that she's letting everyone down, which is then, like, again, it's setting up what her character arc is going to be.
Wrong. It sets up what the character arc is until they were cowards and they did the stupidest ending of any movie ever. Because then all of her sacrifice ends up being virtually worthless.
Yeah.
Not you're wrong. I'm saying wrong.
Yeah.
If that's what they thought they were doing, they did not.
Yeah. No, I got what you meant.
Yeah.
It's they're setting up what, and we've talked about this in other movies where it's like what they're trying to do is this, and then what they actually achieve is over here instead.
We have, and in listening to our episodes over the year, what I have a phrase that we use, both of us, and Ty used it as well, is, you know, quote, in a lesser movie, they would have done, you know, whatever. This is the lesser movie. This is, and I mean that as a joke, but I also mean, I mean it sincerely. This is the movie where it's like, well, in a lesser movie, they would, you know, oh, wow, like, yeah, do whatever stupid thing. This does all those stupid things. Because even in this scene, which I like her talking to him.
Yeah.
I like that he has no business talking to her, but he recognizes this hurt, vulnerable kid.
Yeah.
And humors her to his way.
Yeah.
And it's not antagonistic. It's perfectly polite. And, well, it is in the way that he's gruff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
no, I agree with you. I like this interaction for what it is.
Right. But it is the lesser movie because it's not just a conversation about the town that maybe gives you exposition or something. It's the lesser movie because it serves the purpose of furthering a character backstory, growth, or whatever that ends up being worthless, that ends up being a non-issue in the movie. And it's like, if you're going to do it, just cut it out. Just cut it out of the movie. It doesn't make any difference. The other thing back at Harlow is that Ruth has texted them.
Yes.
Holy shit, she died.
Right.
I think that might be exactly what she texts.
And so Melody gets that text during the auction.
Yeah.
And she is like, okay, I got to go get my sister and we need to get out of here.
She also shows Dante the text and is like, see, like, oh my God, I told you. Like there's like
she's trying to put a blame on him.
It's like antagonistic the way of like, look at what we did.
Yeah.
Like and it's like, again, from the perspective of all of the lines of dialogue that you have presented to us, he didn't do anything wrong. It makes sense for him to have been upset and to react that way. He got called the N-word at a dinner table by a stranger in a house with a Confederate flag on it in the middle of a ghost town. I would also be upset.
Right. And so it's like, is it a bad thing that happened? Yes. But did your actions cause it? Maybe. But were those actions justified in the first place? Yes.
Right.
So that's where it becomes this weird.
It's like if there's a kitten in the road and you see the kitten and you drive, unfortunately you didn't hit it. Oh, thank God. You pull off to the side of the road. You go to get the kitten out of the road. Somebody who is not paying attention is barreling down the road, sees you at the last minute. They get into a crash and get severely injured. Are you directly the cause of that? Yes. Is it your fault? No. Were you doing the right thing? Yes. It's the butterfly effect. But the movie makes it out to seem to me like, yeah, you really shouldn't have fucked up. You murdered that old lady. And it's like, what?
Yeah. Yeah. It's all weird.
It's all weird.
But yeah, she goes to get Lila, and as they're leaving, Richter overhears them talking about how Jenny had died, and Melody tries to get them back into the van or into the bus and to leave, and Richter ends up taking their keys, I guess for both of their vehicles.
Is my assumption.
They can't leave, and he's basically like, if you can show me that you actually have the deed and own the orphanage, I'll give you your keys back.
But if you don't, then I'm waiting for the cops to come back because I'm going to, you need to face Texas justice, which is, of course, getting a shoe thrown at you.
Yeah.
W.
And the thing is like in this moment, Dante is like looking through his paperwork and does not have the deed.
He's like, oh, it must be back in the office in Austin.
Yeah. Which is, I guess, where they're located. They're originally located.
They work out of Joe Rogan's comedy club. Comedy's legal.
Yeah.
Legal. Yeah.
Finally, again. It's the only way we get to do this show.
Ew. Good joke, but ew.
I know. It didn't feel good. And so they decide to go back into the orphanage to find if she has the deed instead.
Right. Surprise, surprise.
But this is where we're back at the crashed van where Ruth reawakens, only to find that the giant man from the back of the van is currently cutting off Jenny's face,
the old lady's face, with a piece of broken glass,
as one does, and he holds it up as he has done in several of these films, to admire his work. The sunlight pierced through the eyes, the nose, and the mouth. She has gotten the police radio that is in this paddy wagon is like doing the hello, somebody help me. He's cutting off her face, and it's like, yeah, okay, that works. Yeah. I guess, because we see the gas station and that it's coming through on that end, but I don't even think we see the guy listening. No, he's not there. Yeah. And I like this whole sequence, honestly. Because I like how they shoot it much of the same way, they never show his face, but they also in this, they never really show what he's doing in close up. It's he's behind the van, he's partially out of frame, or he's in the mirror, the blind spot of this place. Yeah. I do like it. I have a question. Well, I think it just builds a lot of good tension. Yeah. As she's kind of trapped because I feel the doors, it's she can see that he is the only one seemingly alive. Even if the doors are fully functional, she can't just open the door and get out because she just witnessed him kill everyone in the van. And so she's having to figure out how do I make it out of here? Right. And every once in a while she'll check the mirror again and he's now disappeared. And then it's like he'll be on the other side of the van and he's messing with the sheriff. And then he disappears again. And then he's back on her side as she's trying to get out. And so I don't know. I just think they use those blind spots of the van itself very well.
Totally agreed. Sheriff's not dead. He coughs. He kind of wakes up. He's freaking out. Leatherface obsessions him and smashes his head.
Right.
Which is good. Weird obsession parallel there. I didn't realize that until just now. And then she like kind of makes noise trying to get out. He approaches. He is now wearing this old woman's face. So I'll go through this scene and then I have questions about that.
Cool.
He like smashes through the window and in the scuffle has a piece of glass and is like, she's got her wrists on his hand. Surprising that it doesn't snap off and she stabs him in the face with his own bones. But he then sticks her in the stomach with this piece of glass and kind of slices across her stomach.
Yeah.
Like what happened to Darth Maul.
Oh.
She kind of gets cut in half. The reason this is my second favorite kill in the whole movie, the second funniest, is because she then immediately dies.
Right.
It's like there is no coughing or struggling. It's he sticks something into her like intestines, which I'm sure is horribly painful. Yeah. And then slides it across and she is shown to just immediately go and die. And it's like, goddamn.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, what I think it was is that Leatherface was trying to help her out because like she had been complaining about some abdominal pain. And so he figured that maybe in the crash, her appendix had burst. Oh. So he was trying to remove said appendix with the only tools that he had available. But he's also a terrible surgeon.
Gotcha. I think that's fair. Yeah. Maybe he heard that phrase like food is the heart. And he was like, yeah, I eat hearts. I get that. So he was like, oh, she's injured. Let me cut her heart out of her stomach so I can resuscitate her. Because he's so stupid that he thinks that it's in her chest, like in her guts. Yeah. Regardless, she's dead. Here's my question. He cuts this very old woman's face off and holds it up. Right. And then the next time we see him, he's wearing it.
Right.
How does he tie rope to it? It's never shown.
No.
Does he just stick it to his face?
Yeah, it's very bloody. Maybe he just sticks it to his face. And it crusts over it. It holds on the rest of the film, even through that thunderstorm.
If anybody ever has like done cosplay or like, special effects makeup of any kind.
Or cut a person's face off.
Well, no, specifically not that. Okay. If you've ever done the fake version of that and you've used what's called spirit gum, which is a effects makeup adhesive, and it's usually used on liquid latex appliance. Liquid latex, where it blends into your skin is very thin. And if you that's why I mentioned cosplay, because if you wear it for a while and you're in like a convention center or you're outside and somewhere where you're going to sweat, the very edges of it eventually after long enough begin to peel. And that drives you nuts because it's like, oh no, fuck this, it looks bad. If he just slapped it on his face and the dried blood is what's holding it there, eventually it's going to do that. And he's going to freak the fuck out. He's a perfectionist.
Oh, that's what you think it is.
No, I think he probably had like some twine or something.
Yeah.
And he just tied it around his hair.
I mean, he could have used some of her hair to tie her skin onto his face.
Honestly, I kind of like that. That's gross.
Yeah.
Let's assume that that's what it is. Yeah. Leave a comment below how you would stick an old woman's face to your face if you didn't have any rope.
Yeah. The gas station. Okay. Because I was like, how do we get to Sally? The gas station guy does hear it because he's the one who then radios Sally, who is working in a barn, a shed.
Yeah.
And she's butchering like a pig or something.
Great.
I believe this set is from one of the Rambo movies.
Oh, okay.
Because like the producers like had something to do with.
See, it looked to me like the barn that the sheriff's daughter gets killed in Leatherface. I think it's just lit similarly.
It could have been. Maybe it is.
Oh, something to mention about. Sorry, before we get too far ahead, back to the ambulance. When Leatherface stalks away, two things. Number one, he stalks towards that beautiful shot of that like pitch black storm cloud, and it looks so good. He that whole shot is so cinematic, but he has the limp that is kind of now ubiquitous with the character. He's always got it. And I like that they kept that at the very least.
Yeah. The physicality of what he's doing is great.
Yeah, no, he's great. His physical performance is my favorite part of the movie. The things he's doing are very stupid, but the way he does them are very cool.
Yeah. But yeah, the gas station guy, he radios Sally, who then, heads out to investigate. Sally Hardesty in this one is played by an actress named Alwyn Fuere, because she is an Irish actress.
Oh, understood.
I did look that one up, guys.
That makes sense. That's why she's like, "Hey, Leatherface.
Yeah.
You done killed me, brother."
Yeah. She says that a lot.
Yeah.
But she was in Mandy in 2018.
Oh, that is where I know her from.
She's in The Northman from
I haven't
2022.
seen that.
She is in the Halo series.
What? The TV series?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant the game series.
No, the TV series.
Okay.
She's in Tarot from 2024.
Okay.
And she is in The Watchers from 2024, which is directed by M. Night Shyamalan's daughter.
Oh, is that the one where they're like in the woods?
Yeah.
In like the weird house?
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Okay.
As a Shyamalan fan, it's not perfect. But I enjoy it.
As a general fan of Nepo babies, I was also a fan of her being involved. I haven't seen the movie, but I'm like, more of that. Less new blood, more old shit. Go back to the old shit.
Well, we'll go back to the orphanage where Melody and Dante are looking for that deed.
Yeah, and then it's a little unclear as to how this is possible, but Leatherface with his limp manages to just get back there.
He gets there
on foot.
Yeah. Maybe he found one of those like bird scooters.
Yeah. Okay.
And he, had his smartphone and he paid for it and he activated
With
it.
tap to pay.
And then he wrote it on back.
Not even a smartphone. Fortunately, that old woman had an RFID fucking like debit card chip in her face. So he just smacked his head on it and it started going. And he was like, fuck, and he had to run up and chase it.
That's probably it.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's on the cutting room floor.
He hit it with his face. It whinnied and then took off. And he was like, damn, I spooked it.
Yeah.
So stupid.
Lila has been forced to stay in the bus. But Melody is looking around in one of the upstairs bedrooms and she does find the papers and realizes that, Jenny was wrongfully evicted. They don't actually own it. What she was saying is true. So they killed that old woman and we should feel bad about it.
They killed that old racist.
Uh-huh.
So we should be pretty upset.
Yeah. The Leatherface, thankfully, he arrives just in time
to catch Dante looking at pots and pans in the kitchen.
Yeah.
And then Leatherface, keep in mind that he has been raised by this woman who called Dante the N-word not but 30 minutes ago. So when he attacks him, it is like a, uh-oh.
Yeah.
Like, what is your motivation here?
Yeah.
Maybe I'm looking too into it. It was just surprising to include that in this movie.
No, it is a weird... It's all of it. It's all of the like the bigger themes, the thing that they're really like driving for. And then they're like, I don't know, make up your own mind. How do you feel about this?
Right. How do you feel about school shootings? And it's like, well, no, but if you have something that you're trying to say about it, say it. Don't make me say it for you.
Yeah. I do like in this scene where like Dante's looking around in the kitchen dining room area. And when he first goes in, you see this giant meat cleaver that's in like a wood block of a table. And then whenever he goes past, that he comes back into the kitchen because he hears those pots and pans sway a bit, the meat cleaver is gone. And then it's the turn and the jump scare of him being caught by Leatherface with this cleaver.
Now, here's a problem that I have. It's more of a nitpick than anything. He stabbed Ruth in her stomach and then kind of dragged a piece of glass. And she immediately passed away.
Because her appendix burst.
No, but in the context of the movie, because she was a perfectly healthy young woman, and then that killed her instantly. Dante takes a meat cleaver the size of a human head to his collarbone, where all of the veins are, and he lasts a long time.
A lot longer than you'd think.
A lot longer than you could.
You think?
He lasts so long, he gets up and has a walk about it.
He really does.
Yeah. It's bizarre.
Yeah.
It wouldn't matter to me if it weren't back to back.
Mm-hmm.
But
well,
it's just,
yeah, because it's that, and then it's not only that, it's he hits him, and then he goes to work on his face because Melody like comes around the stairs and like spots it, and then goes and hides in the upstairs bedroom, and she hides in the closet first. Leatherface comes up, and this is again where we kind of get him like mourning Jenny's death, because he like goes and gets one of her dresses and he like holds it up in front of him, and he's like putting on lipstick, wearing her face.
It's like grease, like old timey grease paint makeup that he's like applying to the cheeks of this face.
And it's very, I mean, again, we're going back to the original, and it's pulling from the true story of Ed Gein.
Yeah.
And you know, he would do that exact thing with female body parts and his mother's dresses.
And like he's nonverbal, and it's like he's crying, but not really. It's just like pained, like pained and anguished moans.
Yeah.
And yeah, it is. You're exactly right. It is another moment of sympathy, and it's another reminder that he's just a big kid, that he's never known any different. So it's only a little bit stranger that he's 70.
Yeah.
He's 70 years old in this.
Right. But you know, once he's kind of collected himself, he realizes that much like Sweeney Todd with his razors, he needs to complete his arm once again.
Okay. I referenced this in the beginning. I hinted at it. He gets a hammer and he smashes a hole in the wall of, I assume, the woman's bedroom, because her clothing and everything is there.
Yeah. Maybe, or maybe he goes in the other. I can't remember. It's one of the. No, it's got to be her bedroom. Yeah,
Melody is under the bed at this point and watching it all. But John Wick smashes through the concrete of this wall, which should just be drywall and does not need a fucking sledgehammer, but everything's concrete and Texas. And he smashes a hole in the wall.
It's a famous saying, yeah.
Yeah, and he pulls out the exact chainsaw from the original. Now, that, to my mind, does exclude all of the sequels.
Oh.
Because if it's the same chainsaw, he only uses that in the first one, because I don't think it was ever important which chainsaw he was using. I think it's just... the Saw is family. Yeah, you got one laying around. When you're here, you're Leatherface, you know, but
Olive Garden.
Yeah, he picks up this chainsaw and he begins to try to pull start it, which is silly.
Right?
It's silly because he's a big, lovable, dumb dope. And it's like, aw, he thinks it's going to work. Like, it's 50 years old. You have to oil saws like that. It's got to be rusty. You're in fucking, you know, it's in a wall in an old building that's clearly warped and shit. Like, there's enough humidity to warp the wood in this house. Like, clearly it's got rust damage or whatever. What a silly guy.
When gas goes bad after a while.
Oh, yeah, it does. It loses its ability to have, you know, to combust. And so it's all those things that you're like, oh, Leatherface. Yeah. Oh, Leather. You know, you silly little bitch. Yeah. It's so funny.
I think at this point we can call him Leather.
Yeah, I think we know him well enough. But
I do like whenever he's using the sledgehammer and bursting through the wall, is the way that the camera work is. It's very much like in The Shining, with Jack cutting into the bathroom door with the axe, how the camera slides back and forth with every impact of the hammer.
Yeah.
And then I love that, like, with every strike after that, we cut around to different parts of the house.
Yeah.
I just like something about the way that the cinematography and the editing there really work.
I really love the way all of this has looked so far. I think it all looks good. But we get the goriest thing that happens in the movie so far. Richter, I think he overhears what is it, Dante or something?
Yeah, basically it's like the thunderstorm has hit Harlow. Catherine has got everybody else and forced them back onto the bus. And so Dante, who should be dead, has managed to stumble outside of the orphanage into the street.
Yes.
Where then Richter and Catherine find him before he bleeds to death.
And his face is the side of his lip all the way up into like his jaw is all slashed open.
Yeah. Because his father was a drinker.
That's good. That's a good bit.
And
no, that's it.
Oh, okay. That's
the reason is because if it were a fiend, it would be both sides.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. The Joker got one smile line because of the drinking and the other one from the fiendishness.
Gotcha. So Richter then goes into the orphanage,
gun drawn,
and while sending Catherine back to take care of everybody else at the bus.
He's like, get him back there, take care of him. And it's like, Richter, I think he just bled out and died in your fucking little flower patch, dude. I don't think he's alive. He's like, take him, go get him medical treatment. And it's like, he needs a casket. He's passed away.
He is expired.
He just did a death rattle so loud it was louder than the thunder. He went, ugh. You know?
Yeah. Richter goes, yeah, like you said, gun drawn.
He does like the army, whatever. He, checks his corners or whatever.
But he's not good at it.
No.
But I do love this though, because like you said, Melody is hiding under this bed. And
this is very creative.
Leatherface is trying to start this chainsaw. And then he hears the commotion of Richter coming upstairs. And so he quickly hides behind the bedroom door here.
Like a kid.
Yeah. And then as Richter enters the room, Melody uses her foot to turn the
standing mirror
to reveal that Leatherface is there.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I love the framing of all of this and the way that she's trying to help. And it's the kiddishness of this person's hiding under the bed. And so he doesn't know. And then, but still trying to help. And then Leatherface is like an actual kid, the way that he's playing around. And
he hid behind the door.
Yeah. And it's kind of the thing of he doesn't have the intelligence to know that the chainsaw is not going to work, but then he still knows that he needs to hide. And so, but he bursts out and he uses the sledgehammer. And this is another example of him using just kind of the stuff around him of he couldn't get the saw started. So he uses the hammer that he had, and then they're throwing each other around that room.
This is something that I've mentioned before, which is it's in Game of Thrones, it's Oberyn Martell. And Oberyn Martell is fighting the mountain. And you're like, oh shit, he's winning. Oh my God, he might actually do that. And then he gets all of his teeth smashed out of his head. And the second that happens, you as the audience go, oh, he's not going to make it. Because why would they bother the rest of this show with a no teeth guy? Because Leatherface cracks this fucking dude's leg in half. And with a sledgehammer.
Yeah.
It looked so good.
Yeah.
It looks really good. And it's like, oh, he's going to get it now.
But then he ends up they smash into the window.
Yeah.
And then he uses that to kill him, doesn't he? If I'm not mistaken.
Yes. Because as they're fighting, because he continues to fight after his leg's broken.
Yeah.
The leg broken is just the visual of oh, he's not going to make it. That's too much damage. But yeah, there's there's a piece of glass that's stuck out from the shattered window. And Leatherface grabs him by the head and slams his neck into it. So he's bleeding out. Again, if you get hit in the neck by a horribly sharp thing, you live for long enough to do something. But if it's the stomach, immediately in hell. Richter lands and sees that Melody is under the bed, is quiet about it as he's dying, but in the last act of heroism, clearly shows her the keys and drops them.
Yeah, I like this.
I think it's good. That's what I'm saying. The things that this movie does that are just the elements of the horror movie that move the horror movie along are all interesting, but they do that to get to the big pieces that are really dumb.
Yeah, I agree. She takes those keys and she tries to sneak down the stairs, but then Leatherface immediately catches her and throws the hammer at her. And she falls through the stairs, through the floor, into the crawl space.
It's we all think she's getting away with it. And then it pans up and he throws the hammer. It's the difference of Mjolnir, but this is a full sledgehammer. So it's the new hammer that Thor has, whatever it's called. The one that's got the axe. Yeah. It's and he just pitches it like a boomerang and it catches her in the back and she goes flying and smashes through the floor and it's like, she's dead.
Yeah.
But no, she's fine.
Yeah, she's fine. He uses the chainsaw and he kind of chases her, like he cuts through the floor and chases her around.
Yeah, and this finishes the point that I was making about the chainsaw.
Uh-huh.
He's trying to start it and I'm like, oh, you dummy, that's not going to work. Why would that work? It's 50 years old. It's an uncared for piece of equipment. Of course that's not going to work. It's been in a wall for 50. And then it works. Yeah. And I was like, fuck you. Fuck you. Have him go next door to the auto shop or the whatever and get one there.
Yeah.
But no, and that's what I mean by this is so much less a movie I can respect and so much more like, well, everybody else is fucking doing it. It's like, no, he's got to use the saw. Mm-hmm. And it's like, why?
Well, it is family. And as he starts it, he says, oh, my aching banana.
He says, bring it all down.
He's playing the hits, guys.
And she's like, oh, my God, that's my great uncle Lefty. It's like, what? That's who you're related to?
And she says that line again about Harlow and sunflowers and winter and whatever it was.
As my great uncle Lefty used to always say, when the sunflowers are out, bring it all down. Franklin.
But yeah, she gets out with the help of Lila, and they go to the bus, and Leatherface chases them through the rain.
Oh yeah, and as she gets away, she's like getting away through the floorboards, and he cuts through a pipe, and in a moment I can only describe as like Eli Roth Green Inferno extra gross just to be gross.
Yeah,
the pipe has a bunch of like human waste in it that spills all over her, which is gross.
But for it to immediately be washed off by the storm,
right?
So it was kind of like, what was the point of that?
Shock value.
Yeah,
it's very much the Howard Stern of visual effects in this movie.
Wow. But yeah, they make it to probably the best sequence in the whole film. The bus.
Oh no. Oh no.
What happened?
This happens so rarely. We are in complete disagreement.
Oh yeah?
This is my least favorite part of the entire movie.
Okay. But go ahead. I can understand why.
Do you bring the positive perspective?
Okay.
And then I will explain why it didn't work for me.
Because he gets on this bus. There's all the buyers, the possible buyers for this thing. And there's, immediately a bit where they all raise their phone. It's from the trailer, I'm sure.
Same joke they use in Beetlejuice. Everybody's on their phone filming the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he just starts murdering them all.
Yeah.
And the reason that I like it is just how we've never gotten to see Leatherface just go to town on a group of people like this. This is what I feel like they've written scenes like this into, from what we've talked about, into Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 that they cut into Texas Chainsaw either Next Generation or 3D or maybe Leatherface. One of them, they wrote certain things like that and then they cut it out, where it's Leatherface going to kill a big group of people all at once. And I just love that they finally just let him just mow these people down. And they're trapped in a bus and they're awful influencer people. Mm-hmm. And we just get to watch him just one after another chop these people up in all these different ways. Yeah. We get your favorite kill, I believe. Yeah, the funniest kill,
which is
Catherine.
Catherine. I don't know where I don't know where Jenny came from, but yeah, Catherine is like trying to get out of one of the windows. It's like a pull down window, like a school bus window. Yeah, she's trying to get out of it. She gets kind of caught on it, and then he saws her in half from the waist, like Darth Maul.
Oh, he completed the Darth Mauling of someone.
That's funny. I like that. Yeah.
But yeah, and it's something about like the lighting in there I like.
That I do like.
The music banging, and like that we cut to a couple times of like the live streams.
Which I also like. Mm-hmm. The comments that's kind of a funny bit, but I also like that some of it is shot from the perspective of the cell phones. I think that's interesting.
Yeah. So I think it's just that. It's just like how compact all of this like gore and death and everything is. And then eventually Melody and Lila hide in the bus's bathroom. And just the amount of blood that pours under this door is phenomenal to me.
Well, it's also probably, he cuts people in half. Yeah. He cuts people's entire upper torsos diagonally open. Like, that's probably the amount of blood that would come out.
Yeah. I just think it's a fun scene.
I think it's fun. I think that for the tone of the movie up to this point, it would be like putting the Blade club scene in the middle of Nosferatu. It's like something that is trying to be so serious and so severe, and then something so farcical and so silly takes me out of it. I like the cinematography of it. The Flanderization, the Flanderized, whatever that word is, of people younger than 40 years old is at full tilt here. Because it's like he is an old man with a chainsaw on this bus. There are 30 people here. And no one makes an effort to fight back at all. Everyone's just immediately murdered. And it's like, that is also a suspension of disbelief that I can't quite meet. Also, this series doesn't understand how a fucking chainsaw works.
Yeah.
So many fucking times he just takes it and sticks it into someone and it immediately is out of their back.
It's like a lightsaber.
Yeah. And it needs a minute to cut through them. It's so ridiculous and so over the top. It feels to me less like, you have those moments where it's like, I want to see John Wick and go crazy. And it's like the end of that first John Wick movie where he kills all of those people in the club. And it's like, oh, that's good. I like that. We get to see him really go off and you hear all these stories about him. Now you can see it play out. Leatherface isn't like an action hero. Like,
right.
I'm fine with him not murdering all. And so it feels less to me like an homage to the character or giving us something that or at least I've always wanted. And it feels more like Michael Myers murdering the entire fire station during kills. It's like, not only is this unlikely, why is this happen? Or less the fire, but like the group of people in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Where he just freaks out and kills all of them. And it's like, why? He was just talking. Like, I don't know. It's a much more public display of something that is scariest in the dark. Something scariest in those sequestered and isolated places. So I don't know. It didn't work for me in the movie. If you took it out and just let me watch it, I like what I like the choreography and the ridiculousness of it. It reminds me of like Too Many Cooks or like what would be in an Adult Swim bit. But yeah, they escape, by the way, out of a sunroof.
Yeah.
Why is there one sunroof in this bus and why is it over the bathroom?
Well, I feel like, is it I don't know.
Glass.
Because because I was going to say they typically have like a vent, don't they?
Yeah.
But I guess this is glass. Yeah.
Like I can only shit when I see the stars.
Yeah. My question was going to be, do you think that Leatherface is like, I don't know, code name or whatever in like a John Wick way would be Bubba Saya?
That's good. I like that. Yeah. And yes. Oh, Dylan, by the way, watching this, God bless him. He goes, oh, Sawyer. It's like, God damn it. Because even if that's not what they meant, which who knows, even if that's not what they meant, you should have made that connection a long time ago.
Right, because the Saw is family.
When they say that, that's really the giveaway. It was Viggo Mortensen. He described it very well.
In somewhere in all of this, we get a quick scene of Sally finding the scene of the crash, all the dead cops and Ruth, and then finds Jenny's body is like placed almost like a shrine, propped up with like sunflowers, which just kind of lends itself to the Sawyer decorating of it all.
I have no issues with that. I think that is a really cool way to do that. Yeah. I like that a lot.
And it's also the thing that proves to Sally, oh no, he is truly back and I have found him.
Like, this isn't a copycat. These proclivities, there's no way they're being mimicked this effectively. It's got to be him. Yeah.
And so that's when she goes to Harlow, and that moves us to our finale.
Our finale is like the back third of this movie, and it's all the same thing.
Yeah. And it's too long.
Over and over. We got him. He got us. He's going to get me. Leave me. I'm going to go. Oh, he got distracted. Oh, thank God. We're saved. Oh, no, we're not. He's back. And it's in a loop. And Sally makes it so much worse.
Yeah. Because anytime she interjects, it's just like for basically nothing. Melody and Lila, like they get out. They come across Sally. They're like, we don't know who you are. She locks them in her sheriff her truck.
Yeah, which has like the sheriff, like the cop car grate in it.
And she's basically then at that moment using them because she's like, oh well, he's after you, so stay here and I'm gonna go get him.
Yeah.
And she gets like a gun out of the trunk. And this is where our clip comes in, because she goes into the orphanage where Leatherface has retired to. And I don't know how she knows that, but she goes upstairs and
yeah, it's like you're supposed to assume she has like an intimate knowledge of like, oh, well, he's going to be in that building.
Yeah.
And it's like, but you didn't know where he was for 50 years. You're the least qualified person to tell us anything about what he's doing.
Yeah.
You dope. I think that is the stupidest bit of dialogue in the world. I think that you don't remember me and then not shooting him and just letting him get up and get that saw. And she is supposed to be a cop. And it's all just so stupid.
Yeah. Leatherface leaves the upstairs and goes downstairs to attack the sisters who are in Sally's car.
Yeah. He leaves virtually unimpeded.
Yeah.
She's like, you don't remember me? And he's like, no. And they scuffle for a minute. And then she might as well be like, man, I'm so upset about all this. Go do what you want.
Yeah. But before he can get the sisters, Sally is back out on the street.
Yeah.
And what I think she's trying to do is she gives like the crazed cackle laugh that original Sally does at the end of the original film.
Yeah.
And then she's like, oh, you remember me now. I'm the one that got away, as she fires at him. But like, that's the only, I mean, she's trying.
Which to me, because he does, it works. He turns around and he goes and he just kills her. But the point is that to me, it's like, oh, you remember me now. I'm the one that got away. And then he turns, and I think we're supposed to be like, oh my God, he does remember.
Right.
But I don't think so. She shot him.
Yeah.
And he was like, well, no, I don't suffer being shot at. Kind of harkening back to what I was talking about earlier about how the film treats chainsaws like lightsabers. He just sticks it in her guts.
Yeah.
And then he holds her in the air and then throws her off of the chainsaw.
Right.
30 feet.
Into the trash.
Which I don't know what that's supposed to be saying, if there's any subtext to that, but it is hilarious.
Yeah.
That the world's first final girl is literally thrown into the trash by a man who is her, abuser. I don't know what that's supposed to mean.
And he's 70 years old.
Right.
I was thinking about that. You mentioned at some point in all this again, you said, you really, I think he was on the bus. He really stressed it. Like, he's 70 years old. That means that Jenny was what, 90? She was looking good for 90.
Well, even if like she's 30 when he at 20 is brought there and they're like, he's developmentally disabled and she just works there. She runs through the ranks and eventually takes it over or whatever. I'm willing to accept maybe she's 80.
Okay.
But yeah, again, this is the same problem with fucking Halloween. He's 70 years old.
But he lifts another grown woman over his head on a chainsaw.
Right. That's crazy.
Yeah, he can do that.
I guess. Well, and then he also survives a bunch of gunshots throughout this because she shot him a couple times. To kind of not to speed through it, but there's not a lot left really to talk about.
Melody hits him with the car. And then he gets away.
It smashes into Richter's shop.
Right.
Then
where Melody is then trapped in it by something
has stabbed her through the leg.
Yeah. And so she's like, Lila, you got to get out of here. And so it's like, it's setting up this moment of like, yeah, Lila's going to have her big like final girl hero moment. But then they don't. I mean, they kind of wishy-wash back and forth that.
She's like, hey, asshole, out here. So then Leatherface, I don't know, the like, come here, boy, of the Leatherface, you know, falling for it.
Yeah.
It's like, would he?
It's a lot of that. It's like Lila leaves. Leatherface comes up. Melody apologizes of like, hey, we're sorry we killed your mom or whatever.
I honest to God thought that was going to be the end. And I was really like, wow, that's kind of like bold.
Yeah. And then no, Lila, who, you know, as we've said, survived a school shooting, has now gone and gotten one of Richter's guns.
Yeah.
And is gonna take.
And she goes to shoot him. And it's not even like she got Richter's like double barrel shotgun. Mm-hmm. She got like an
AR-15.
Like the school shooting gun. Yeah.
And it's empty or the safety's on or something because it doesn't fire.
Is the lesson that the gun, is this like an NRA, like a secret NRA movie where it's like, it's not the gun that kills people?
Well, it's either that or maybe it's the thought process of, you know, the only way to stop a bad guy with a chainsaw is there to be a good girl with a gun. That was my bit from earlier. I'm glad we got around to it.
It is insane.
Yes.
And really tone deaf.
Yes.
We've already said all this, but it is striking how bad that came off to me in that moment. But eventually they end up in like a movie theater, like an abandoned theater.
And there's a
giant
much
pit.
much like in the beginning of Inferno, there's a giant hole in the ground that's filled with water.
Right. Unlike Inferno, this hole isn't fully furnished.
Right.
Right.
Well, as far as we know, we don't get to see down there.
I think we have to be clear. We're talking about Dario Argento's Inferno,
correct,
not Hellraiser Inferno.
Oh, that's a good point.
As far as I'm aware, there is no giant pit of water in Hellraiser.
I don't remember one.
I don't remember anything about that movie.
They don't have a giant pit on your hoodie.
I hate you so much. I'm gonna burn that fucking thing. I'm gonna wear it to Horror Nights once and then burn it. Yeah, no, that's probably fireproof because of Inferno. Mm-hmm. But yeah, basically it ends with they continue
right
to. He's almost killed them, then they kill him, but then he's back, and it's very Michael, which doesn't feel like Leatherface, because in the original, that never happens.
Yeah.
And there's just a lot of this odd, like, slasher trope shit
He
happening.
pops out of that hole in the ground full of water like he's a goddamn dolphin.
It's Jason.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. He moves like Michael. He acts like Jason. There is no Leatherface to this at all until when there needs to be. Yeah. And then even that, I don't think they handle very well. I think the stunt performer's good, but I don't think they understood what makes Leatherface different from the other ones.
Yeah.
But anyway, all of that to say, he does get shot and he falls back into the hole. Because I think Lila shoots him.
Yeah, I think Lila shoots him. She has some moment with Sally where Sally's basically like, you got to do this because otherwise you're going to live the rest of your life being afraid of the thing. And
she's also like cut in half.
Yeah.
And like,
those are like her last words.
She's like bleeding through a giant gash in her stomach chest and is talking to this girl like, you got to do it. You gotta be brave. And she's laying on bags of garbage.
Yeah. But yeah.
I should have just bagged her up.
Eventually, yeah, they I don't know. The chainsaws and the guns change hands so many times. Melody eventually like uppercuts him with the chainsaw. But it looks like she barely kind of taps him on the chin and he falls back into the water. Dead forever.
Well, you see a bunch of blood and bubbles, and it is assumed dead. And it is the thing of like, I don't know, man. When Laurie, at the end of 2018, when Laurie presumably has killed Michael, it's like, well, that's deserved.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then when this random fucking Gen Zer kills him with his chainsaw, it's like, I don't know, man. You're kind of going to lose a lot of people on this.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't really care too much, but you can see immediately the like, ooh, I would have done that, which is why they don't.
Well, yeah, but it's if that's what you were going to do, why did you bring Sally back? Because if you're going to copy Halloween 2018, do it fully. Just have her end the monster that she's been chasing for 50 years.
Right.
And instead, she pops off a couple shots at him, cackles like a witch, and then he uppercut chainsaws her through the chest, throws her in the garbage and he doesn't even know who she is.
Right. He is incapable of knowing who she is. I don't know. I don't know who this is supposed to please. I don't know if it's supposed to troll the like diehard horror people or if it's supposed to be fan service. It doesn't even
feel like that. Like we've seen movies like that, I feel like, or there are movies that are like that.
Halloween Ends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This doesn't feel like that.
No. This feels like fan service made by somebody. It feels like fan service made by somebody who doesn't quite understand what it's like to live in the American Southwest.
Yeah. That's a good possibility.
Because, like, I don't know where Fede Alvarez originates from. I don't know if he's spent any time in that area, but there is a very specific, like, sort of culture of that area, and this feels like a parody of it.
Yeah.
But doesn't then act like a parody.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's very bizarre. Ultimately, the thing I want to get to is the very end.
Mm-hmm.
They have this big wrap-up, heartfelt moment. Mm-hmm. The girls get back into the Tesla that they drove there with.
Yeah. Which has... Okay, Teslas do have like a self-driving mode.
Yeah.
But I don't believe you can just push the GPS for home and it will drive you from where you are at point A to B, your home.
I definitely don't think that it works like that. I think you have to have like your foot on the gas at the very least or something to that effect.
Right.
They get in in an effort to not commit to anything that they've tried to set up.
Right.
The two survivors who have both big air quotes, folks, grown in this, being that one of them learned that a gun is her best friend and the other one learned that it's her fault that old lady died.
Yeah, but she's sorry about it.
But not the other old lady, by the way. Sally, when she dies, which is their fault.
Yeah, they were like, who was that old woman?
Yeah, why was she in the trash? And it's like, well, she wasn't the whole time. It's like, she wasn't. But they get in this Tesla and they're driving it away and they're like, take me home. They're like, we did it. We did it, sister. And then the window of the passenger side door smashes open and Leatherface drags Melody out.
Mm-hmm.
And before anyone can react, has sawed her head off as though it is paper and then holds it up at the Tesla. Now, why didn't he then go kill her, being Lila, the only now survivor of the film? Why didn't he go kill her too?
As the car just slowly drives away.
It's going a mile an hour. She like gets out of the sunroof and it's like her waist up is out of the sunroof and she's like, no. And she's screaming as though she is being dragged away at 50 miles an hour, but she is going 3 miles an hour. Just get out.
Also, I'm pretty sure that it's heading to the end of the cul-de-sac, which means it has to turn around and come back that way.
That's going to be an awkward drive past.
Yeah. Yeah.
By that time, he's figured out how to get his hand in it's like the head's mouth and he's doing a puppet.
I'm sorry about your mom.
Oh, no. Looks like you love guns now, you creep. And she's like, no. But it is so awkward and
it's supposed to be shocking.
And it is. The effect of her head coming off is fucked.
And like holding it up like as a taunt
and
to
like
Lila.
The facial expression kind of dimming out. It is really disturbing.
Yeah.
And it stuck with me. That was the one thing I remembered is the very end. But I didn't remember the odd choice to make it an electric vehicle slowly driving her away out of the sunroof.
That's what I've always had a problem with this ending. It's just like, what's the whole Tesla thing is, and they don't call it that, but it's like this electric car thing is really weird in this movie.
Just have it.
But it's like, it's supposed to like set it as like, this is the type of person, this is the time of when this is happening.
Have it be the guy from the gas station finally understands what's going on because of the fucking radio. So he goes there. They get in his car. They're like, please, please, please. And he's like, you got it. We'll get out of here. They take off for the mile. And as soon as they start driving, Melody's like, oh, thank you. And then gets dragged out. And they see it. And she's like, stop. That's my set. And he's like, I'm not stopping. That has tension. There's a human element that pulls her away, even though she doesn't want to get dragged away. There's a lot there, but it's so weird that it's like she's on the Men in Black ride. It's moving that fast. It's so weird.
Yeah.
Well,
Thankfully we get a post-credit scene where
we do.
Yeah, you didn't stick around for this one either.
No.
Yeah, it's just Leatherface walking back to the old Sawyer homestead.
Oh, fuck off.
Which I guess he knew where that was the whole time, and
yeah, I'm sure that it's still there.
It is. It definitely was.
But and it is in our world. In the real world, it is still there.
Yeah,
because it has been paid attention to and repaired.
Yeah, it's not technically in the same plot. We've never talked about this on any of these episodes. I guess this is the best time.
It is a pilgrimage that I think we should make.
I believe so too.
Yeah.
But it has been moved from that lot that it was originally on. They transported that house to a new location, and it is now a barbecue restaurant and a Texas Chainsaw Massacre museum, I believe, is upstairs. I believe that the gas station barbecue place is also there.
Neat.
Still like memorabilia and stuff that they have there as well. So those places exist.
Yeah, I'd love to go there. I think that'd be very interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am astounded by how much this movie has that I think looks great, or moments with the killer that are great. But then it's what I said earlier, all of the big moments that are supposed to be the centerpieces for the movie are the ones that are annoying, are the ones that are painful to get through, that are filled with, the subtlety of the sledgehammer they use so often. It is such an eye roll so often. It is just filled with this member berries crap, or this, reference to other, but that's it. It's referential to other horror movies of its time,
right?
That aren't actual references. It's just plagiarism. It just feels like it's stealing from these things. Having said that, that's my kind of general take on this. And I tell you what, the fact that it's 50 minutes is great.
It's definitely longer than that. It's
Is
like
it
92 minutes.
Is it the thing of, I feel like it's shorter than that, only because I clicked into it and then the timeline came up and I was like, oh, wow, this is so short.
Yeah, it's 92 minutes.
Okay, well, then I don't know what happened, but I've said that too many times to cut out now. So you know what? We do this all the time. It is 50 minutes. But yeah, it is so strange how divided my first watch through left me, and then how cemented in because my answer, I'm not even going to ask. I always do, but this time I'm just going to begin with my answer. The second time I was like, no, even the stuff that I think is good, I don't recommend this. Yeah. It just feels like a waste of time.
That's kind of where I'm at.
There's nothing worth it. I would say, and I've done recommendations like this before. I would say look up the bit where it's the ambulance crash. I think that's the most interesting and well-made part of the movie. It is the one part of this movie that feels like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, that feels like him, and sort of the sort of horror that this franchise does well. This is the only part of that's the only part of it that feels like it. Everything else just feels like, it just feels like another franchise. It feels, and the reason we've said the word Halloween so many fucking times is because that's what it feels like. It feels like Halloween movies.
And it's them not understanding, one, that they are two different franchises, two different masked killers, two different final girls. And you can't translate one immediately into the other because they are telling different stories.
Yeah.
This doesn't work.
It's like Laurie gets out of her situation through a sort of ability to plan ahead and make snap decisions and tenacity. And Sally gets out from dumb fucking luck, that they get distracted for that 1 second, and she is lucky enough to be able to get out of the fucking window and run, and then a series of comedy of errors let her escape.
Yeah.
They're very different characters in a very different circumstance, very different set pieces, and the stories are told very differently. So to just go, well, they did it, let's fucking do it. Let's do it exactly the same.
And even the way that they are terrorized is different. I think that these women would be broken in different ways.
In the fact that Laurie would always have a fear of looking over her shoulder. And I would be surprised if Sally was able to keep herself alive and taken care of for anymore. Finding out that, I don't know that it's ever really specified in that first movie that she is aware that she has sat in front of a plate full of meat that is either her friends or our people. But you could make that assumption that she does know that.
Yeah.
And it's just the things that she dealt with are beyond disgusting, beyond traumatizing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And in this movie, it just treats it exactly the same.
Yeah.
So
I agree with all of that. I am very we've kept saying it. It's like the message here is muddy of is Lila helpless, or has she overcome her fear and she's helping herself, or does she need the help of her sister and or Sally, or does she not? Are guns good? Are guns bad?
Well, and as a country, I don't think anyone ever needs to preach the lesson that the best way to get over the fear that comes with surviving a school shooting is to grab guns and shoot people.
Right.
Even if they're Leatherface, I don't think that that's a lesson we need.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just bizarre.
Yep.
The whole thing's bizarre.
So no, I don't recommend.
Yeah, good. It's taught me a valuable lesson, which is I really need to form opinions on things now. That the big opinions that I used to have, because this franchise, when I left this franchise the first time that we watched through all of these movies together, I hated 2 and I loved this one. And I cannot stress how much those things have flipped. I adore 2 now. It is beyond silly, beyond lovable. It is so bizarre. And I have such a fondness for it now. And this movie made me want to slough dead skin from my eyes.
Wow.
It's just terrible.
And then I could wear that.
And then you'd be leather eyes.
Yeah. Man, the way that you're talking about this, the end of a franchise and things changing, positions and almost like a ranking, if you will.
We typically do give a little bit of insight into, I don't know why I went that high. We usually do give an insight into the love of these franchises in order with from least to greatest with our rankings.
Yeah.
Do we want to do least to greatest?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
We know where we're going.
Starting us off, we both chose Leatherface.
Yes, we did.
And then at 6th place, we both have 3D.
I don't.
What? Already? All right. What's your 6?
My 6 would, I guess, be Leatherface, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
These watches especially.
Yeah.
There were a couple of them that traded places in my ranking. Ever so slightly.
Sure. Okay.
Like movies that have the same star rating on Letterboxd, but I was like, honestly, if like Chainsaw to my head, I would choose. I would watch this one over that one.
It's the difference of with the half star system, Letterboxd gives you 10, 1 out of 10. But it's if it were 1 out of 100, then which one would eke the other one out? Yeah. Okay. So your 6 is 3 and mine is 3D. My number 5 is this one, is Netflix.
Okay. Or
2022 or whatever the fuck.
Mine is Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the Next Generation.
Okay.
So.
Okay. Interesting.
I think I liked that one a bit more than 3 this time. You have, McConaughey's performance, and you have, Renee Zellweger running and screaming and doing her thing. And I like the weirdness over. I like the weirdness of 4 over the nothing of 3.
Over the mundane mediocrity.
Yeah.
Okay. My number 4 is number 3.
Okay.
The next, or no, Leatherface.
Yeah.
God, this is such a fun. I hate it. I hate you, Texas Chainsaw. You're all stupid fucking names. All right, what's your number 4?
Texas Chainsaw Massacre. This one, 2022 on Netflix.
Okay.
For all of the reasons that we have said.
My number 3 is Next Generation. Because of McConaughey and because of the weirdness, but specifically the weirdness.
Yeah.
Because McConaughey is bundled into that. But it is the thing of like, why is Darla ordering pizza for this guy who's in the Illuminati who beats her? And then they go to a dinner and then there's a man with nipple rings but in his stomach who's licking her face. And then Grandpa Munster gets up and walks away. And it's so crazy that it's like, I would watch that. Like, I would recommend that in a trolling way, which is better than nothing. So yeah, that's my number 3.
My number 3, and so what's weird is whenever I'm looking at my rankings, I also have the remake and the beginning in here because it's all the thing. So my number 3 right now with what we've talked about is Texas Chainsaw 3D.
What the fuck?
But that's not where it would end up once you add the other 2 in.
Still too high.
I just find it dumb fun.
I find it dumb.
Yeah.
Which is why I couldn't find the fun in it.
Yeah.
You found it. You found the fun.
Yeah. And I don't know.
We fell in love in a hopeless place.
Yeah. It's
in a Leatherface.
No, it's dumb.
And then number 2 is 2 and the number 1 is 1.
Correct.
Yeah, that's a no-brainer.
Yeah. Those, I mean, you can't. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre from 1974, as we have stressed over and over again, is like a perfect film. It is this lightning in a bottle that you can't recreate in any way as many times as they've tried to over this entire franchise, because every sequel except for maybe one is them just going, how do we do it again?
Yeah. Well, damn, I struggle to think of which one it isn't. I guess 3D.
I was going to say Leatherface, because that one is like, they purposefully are like, let's make a different movie that doesn't follow the same pattern.
Yeah, but then it still does.
Yeah.
They still end up at that fucking table. It's all the same shit. I will say that where another chip on my shoulder for this movie is that this movie does not do that. It is the one thing we've been asking for is please don't remake the first one with a different setting or different whatever, different characters, different Matthews, different McConaughey's. Just make it your own thing. And they did. They just remade every other movie ever. And I'm surprised there aren't like Pee Wee Herman lines in this. Like at one point somebody doesn't turn to Leatherface and be like, I'm a rebel, Leather. Like I hate it. I don't like stuff like that. I think people that listen to our show and have a finger on the pulse of the way I form my opinions know that is the way to lose faith in something from my perspective, is the second that you can't do anything on your own and you have to be babysat through all of the other movies that you've seen in the last 10 years. I don't know. And so to find out that Fede Alvarez wrote this is like, well, no, maybe it was his writing partner and he was, I don't know.
Yeah.
He's asleep or something. He's asleep. Yeah. Because this movie is not woke.
No, it is not.
No, it's not. What are we talking about next?
We are talking about a little film called Tourist Trap,
which I don't know a thing about.
Yeah, I don't believe you've. I think it's going to be a true newbie experience for you. It's from 1979. From anyone looking out there, it's directed by David Schmoller. Tourist Trap. I think once you do see it, you will absolutely understand the reason that I think it's the perfect bridge between the Texas Chainsaw Massacre and the Firefly trilogy.
Wait a minute. What do you mean? Are we going to talk about those movies next?
Yeah.
Wow. You know what? You did a rug pull. You know, another word for a pull is drag. Like my Dragula. Thanks for tuning into the Third Channel podcast. Please, if you have the time, rate, review, and subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or any of your favorite podcast apps.
You can follow us on social media at Third Channel Podcast, and you can find me online at @DRosenberg.
You can also reach out to us at thirdchannelpodcast@gmail.com, where we check every message we swear. Third Channel is hosted by PJ Minette
and Derek Rosenberg. Theme song and audio engineering by Fly Guy Ty.
The logo designed by Bell DeVelco.
Episode artwork by Nathan Walkington.
Keep it tuned right here to the Third Channel for all things horror. And remember, don't touch that dial. Egg salad and eggs.